the Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio. Our coverage of Dowling Catholic High School sports is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Dental Associates, the Catholic Tuition Organization, Mercy One, and Skeffington's Formalware. Thank you for supporting Dowling Catholic Sports on Iowa Catholic Radio.
And good evening and welcome to the Johnston High School Gymnasium as we get set for girls and boys basketball tonight here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. Mark Amadale joined by Scott Babinett tonight. Welcome back, Coach, as we got Dowling and Johnston. These two teams played about 11 days ago. The rematch is tonight because it's a Central Conference game, and it's number 1 Johnston and number 5 Dowling. Welcome back.
Well, thank you. Weren't we supposed to do this like 4 weeks ago?
Yeah. Then it got snowed out.
Yes.
And that was the game you were supposed to be on, and
yes.
It got snowed out and pushed back. Well, we'll get the rematch. Mr. DeVinny decided to go out of town. He had a client that needed his attention, so understand that, and we brought you in, and we'll move Mr. Cataldo to the boys' game. He was just over there in that other gym watching his son's team lose. This Dowling sophomore boys losing in the B gym, and the Dowling JV1 under Coach Tom Donahue losing here to the Johnston girls. So not a good start for Dowling teams here at the Johnston gym tonight, Coach.
It actually just stretched out late in that game there. It was a pretty good game up until the last 3 or 4 minutes. So it's good to be here tonight. This is a great matchup to have, and
it is
definitely something to get you ready for playoffs. And as you look projecting the future, if you take care of business and get to state, you have a chance to see this team again.
So. You certainly do, to be in the state tournament. Now, rankings came out yesterday. Those aren't the final rankings, at least in Class 4A and 5A, which means the final rankings come out next Wednesday. Those will be the seedings for the teams in state. So if you're in the top 8, you know exactly where you're going to be, and that's where you'll be seated. I like how the girls' union does it. It's pretty simple.
Right.
But we did have the brackets come out. Dowling girls have a bye on Wednesday. That's the first round of the girls' 5A play this coming Wednesday, but the Maroons will play a week from tomorrow against Ames at the Dowling gym at 7 o'clock. That'll be the Dowling girls. They advance to the semifinals in their region.
Right. That's a long time to wait for a game and, preparing and keeping the kids focused. And, it's a really tough thing for a coaching staff to do, but I know that Kristen, Joel, and Audrey will have them going and working hard. And there'll be a lot of conditioning early in the week and a lot of preparation. They don't take people for granted. They really prepare their teams really well.
Yeah, they certainly do, Coach. And you look at Dowling's schedule. Of course, tonight it's number 1 Johnston here at the Johnston gym. And then tomorrow afternoon they travel to Cedar Falls and they take on the Cedar Falls Tigers at 3:30. Cedar Falls happens to be a 3 seed in their region. They were in the top 10, and then they kind of started losing games, and now they have a record of 12-7, so they're a 3 seed. And that'll be the Dowling girls' final game. And then you mentioned they'll have 7 days off until they face Ames in a week. That'll be Saturday, February 19th, taking on Ames at 7 o'clock at Dowling.
Yeah, Eastern Iowa has been crazy this year, hasn't it? Especially the last 3 or 4 weeks, the way people are knocking everybody off, and you thought things were going a certain way, and then that's just gone nuts over there.
And for Johnston, they'll be the same boat. This is their final game. They're going to have 9 days off, and they will face Council Bluffs Jefferson at 7 o'clock right here at the Johnston gym on Saturday, February 19th. That'll be the semifinals. They advance to the semifinal, being a number 1 seed. And they'll await the winner of the other side of the bracket. Sioux City North travels to Fort Dodge on Wednesday. The winner of that game faces Des Moines North, who's been a surprise this year. Haywood Boston's done a great job. The Polar Bears are 14-6. They're the 2 seed in the number 1 overall seeds region. So you're looking at a Des Moines North versus Fort Dodge possible matchup. And the winner will play Johnston here at Johnston on that infamous Tuesday night of regional final basketball.
Yeah, Johnston's amazing. I've seen a lot of games on Huddle and different ways. They're just so complete if you watch them. And I wrote down here they're probably the most complete team I've seen all year. They're shooting, ball handling, rebounding, passing, size, quickness, balance. It's kind of hard to find that chink in the armor, so to speak, to pick at and see if you can get them to falter a little bit. But they've been really good this year, and obviously 20-0. And as we said a couple broadcasts we were together, there's a reason why Johnston's number 1 in the state this year.
No question about it. Let's take a look at some of the games going on tonight in the CIML. These are all girl-boy doubleheaders. The one team that isn't playing is Ames. They concluded their regular season, at least the girls have, as they played Fort Dodge last night. It'll be in the Central Conference, Southeast Polk at Waukee. These are all girl-boy doubleheaders beginning at 6:15. Urbandale is at Valley. Ankeny Centennial at Ankeny. That'll be a shootout up there at Ankeny. Fort Dodge at Mesa City. Waukee Northwest travels to Marshalltown. Ottumwa is at Roosevelt. Lincoln's at Hoover. In the boys' game, that'll be for first place. And East at North. So there's a look at some of the games tonight. Dowling, of course, the Dowling boys tomorrow will be in action also as they take on third-ranked Cedar Rapids Kennedy in a tournament going on at Linn-Mar High School. And that game will start at 1 o'clock. The Dowling girls will travel to Cedar Falls tomorrow. They'll play at 3:30 against the Cedar Falls team that is unranked and 12-7. So that'll conclude the
schedule.
It is. It's been a busy week, busy time. We're going to take a break here on the pregame show. Mark Hamadil alongside Scott Babinett as we get set for Johnston, ranked number 1 in 5A, and Dowling, ranked 5th in 5A. Johnston undefeated at 20-0 on the year. And Dowling's record is now 16-4 and ranked 5th. We'll be back with the starting lineups when we return to the Johnston Gym tonight here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Dental Associates, addressing your smile needs and dreams. 515-225-6742. Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com. Thank you, Dental Associates, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One, your expert circle of personalized care for all your health needs. With more care locations than anyone, your best life is their one purpose. Find your doctor at mercy1.org.
And welcome back to the Johnston Gym. Mark Hamadil alongside Scott Babinett as we get set for Dowling and Johnston tonight here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, as both teams on the floor in this top 5 Class 5A matchup. And Scott, before we go to the introductions, what are some of your thoughts about the second round between Dowling and Johnston? If you look at the numbers from the first game, it was relatively even, but the Maroons couldn't make shots when they needed to. Ended up losing Dowling ended up losing to Johnston on that Monday night. 57-41 as things kind of got away from them in the fourth quarter.
They did, and as we talked earlier about Johnston and how solid they are, I just watching that game last night again, you try to find gaps to close in a 16-point game, and obviously we're 4 short on the free throw side as far as makes, and then turnovers and rebounding, -7 on both of those. So that's something you can look at if you can cut those down. Typically, Dowling wants to get out and run. I'm not sure they want to do it with this team. They probably want to slow pace a little bit. But what they've got to do is they've got to make sure they get the shot they want. It's much like even Centennial the other night. It's like they get rushed because Johnston can get up on you and they can hug up on you on the perimeter because they have the size inside to protect the rim. So even if you beat them, the next thing you know is you're dealing with a 6'2" Division I player waiting for you, saying, "Bring it, I'm ready for it." And so it's like a lot of navigation, a lot of thought process, but they've got to be patient enough to get the shot they want and then not rush that shot. And those are ways you can close this gap. But it's really a big challenge tonight for Dowling, but it's a good growth opportunity and a great opportunity to see these girls just progress.
One thing Coach Meyer of Dowling mentioned at halftime when we visited with her, said, our kids, we showed our experience at times against Centennial, probably did it a little bit in the loss to Johnston late January. And this, a group that is, you have a senior, you have a couple juniors, and then you have freshmen. First freshman off the bench, 2 freshmen off the bench in the mix, along with a freshman starter. So the inexperience may have caught up. And this is a Dowling team that will grow, but will be fast enough to come tournament time where you can compete against the level of the Centennials and the Johnstons.
Right. And what I'd like to see with Dowling is, Ava's carried this team as the leading scorer throughout the year on that side. and Emma just on the rebounding side, but you need more of those players to step up and provide more scoring opportunity to get more balance there, because when you do that, that really puts the other team back on their heels and make them play from behind a little bit, see how they like that. And it's hard to play from behind against these really good defensive teams.
It certainly is, and be careful of that crowd that's coming right at us there. They belong in the other gym, and they're letting them in here. I can't believe that. My goodness, look at that crowd. Let's take a look, Scott, at our starting lineups, as once again we're at Johnston High School tonight. I want to thank everybody involved with our broadcast, including the athletic director, Josh Toby, who's not here. He's accepted the athletic director position at Norwalk High School, so congratulations to Josh. He'll be here till June 30th, but Melissa Cross is the acting AD tonight, along with Randy Sparks, who helped us get set up here, and we want to thank them, along with Tammy Nelson back in the Johnston office, so we've got to recognize them. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups. For Dowling, the Maroons come in with a record of 16-4. They are ranked 5th in 5A. They've won 5 of their last 9 games. Their losses are all to ranked teams, as they started the season 11-0, and they will start this lineup at one guard, Ava Zedeker, who Coach talked about. Ava, a 5'9 freshman, averaging the leading scorer for Dowling, averaging 13 points, leads the team with 38 made threes. She'll wear number 13. The other guard is Julia Moore, a 5'4 junior, leads the team in steals with 44, and she is a 5'4 junior, and she'll wear number 21. And the third guard is freshman Layla Tritton, a 5'8", and she averages 5 points per contest and one of the leaders in steals with 15. She will wear number 45. At forward, Lauren Fredericks, 5'10 junior, and she averages 6 points a contest. And the center, Emma Gipple, first in rebounds in the state and in offensive rebounds in the state, second in defensive rebounds. Emma's a 5'10 senior, averaging 9.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, which she leads the team in the state in, and has 23 blocks, which leads the team. The head coach is Kristen Meyer in her 6th year, 104 wins, 30 losses, assisted by Joel Danner and Audrey Faber. Dowling comes in averaging 51.5 points on offense, and they give up just under 38 points on defense. Now for the Johnston Dragons. They're undefeated. They are 20-0. They're ranked number 1 in Class 5A. They've won 37 of the last 38 games. Their only losses were to Waukee last year. They went 1-2 against Waukee, losing the title game. They'll start at one guard, Zoe Buchan, a 5'5 senior, she'll wear number 4. The other guard is Anna Gosling, a 5'7 senior, first in the state in free throw percentage. The other guard is Aaliyah Riley, a 5'7 sophomore, Eileen Tanky, and Jada Jimpy. We'll take a break and come back with the start of tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio.
What is the best gift ever? Giving a Catholic education is at the top of my list. Your contribution to CTO helps families send their children to our Catholic schools who otherwise could not afford it. In giving to CTO, you receive the best tax credits ever. Pledge or donate online at ctoiowa.org. The bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Ryan, president of Dowling Catholic High School, and welcome to another season of exciting Dowling High School basketball. We are proud to be partners with Iowa Catholic Radio, not only broadcasting basketball, but also being partners in preparing Christ-centered leaders for life. Go Maroons!
Hello, my name is Father Ryan Andrew, and I'm the chaplain at Dowling Catholic High School. Let us pray for the coaches, players, and trainers for this athletic competition. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your gifts. We ask you to bless all those involved in this athletic competition tonight. We ask that you keep them safe, and that they all show good sportsmanship. We ask this through Christ our Lord, amen. All holy men and women, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen.
Catholic High School Gymnasium alongside Scott Babinet. I am Mark Amadale. Thank you for joining us. Our final girl-boy doubleheader of the regular season tonight. The boys and girls teams from Class 5A and the CIML branch out. They'll be going on their own separate ways. Dowling boys have a week left, so do the Johnston boys. I have some games lined up. Dowling and Johnston girls, they'll be playing in the tournament next Saturday, a week from tomorrow. They'll open up tournament play, so the last doubleheader of the season, Scott Babinet.
It's gone so fast, hasn't it? I mean, just, like I was telling you, I've missed this season, part of it, just on the day-to-day stuff, but Man, it has flown by, and it just seems like they started yesterday.
Well, you're not at practice every day, so
Right.
that's kind of, that becomes a drain. As a coach, you know that, all the preparation and such that goes into that. But we've kept you out of the retirement and out of the rocking chair tonight. We brought you right here. We're not courtside,
Right.
but we're center court up here in the balcony with the camera people, and we've got a great view of this game and great excitement here on a Friday night at Johnston. It's their senior night. They'll be doing that between games, so the boys' game will be probably a good 10, 15-minute delay before they can actually start warming up. But Johnston girls have 3 seniors. I think a lot of CIML coaches will make sure these seniors, Jada Gyamfi, Anna Gosling, and Zoe Buchan, cross the stage in May.
Yeah, they may be there cheering. What a great venue here, right? I mean,
It is.
this gym is awesome. I believe, if I remember correctly, Dowling girls may have been the first team to give them their loss at home here a few years back.
Oh, that
So
could be.
maybe some good vibes for tonight. How about that?
If I had a little bit more time, I'd do some research on that. As we mentioned the Johnston starting lineup, and we got cut off there a little bit, but we mentioned Zoe Buchan. She is 3rd in free throw percentage in the state in Class 5A. 5'5" senior at one guard. The other guard is Anna Gosling, a 5'7" senior, 1st in free throw percentage in the state. How do you like those two in the fourth quarter knocking down when you need it, huh?
Again, they're so complete. I mean, look at this team percentage. I believe it's 78.9 as a team.
Unbelievable. Then Aaliyah Riley, a 5'7" sophomore, just a steady performer. Molly Nelk, off the bench. 1st in what they call it, effective field goal percentage
Right.
in the state.
Yeah.
She comes off the bench, and she's 1st in three-point percentage, 5'8" junior, and she's off the bench. But Eileen Tankey, 5'10" sophomore, number 30, and Jada Gyamfi, she's 4th in field goal percentage with 58%. She, along with the rest of the team, averages 14.5 points, 6.5 rebounds. We're underway. Gyamfi leading the team with 31 blocks, and Johnston with the basketball. They go right to left, north to south here at the Johnston gym. A long 3 up and no good. Offensive rebound to Buchan, and the Dragons maintain their possession, and Dowling stays man-to-man here.
And on top of it, they rebound really well.
Yeah. Well, especially those long rebounds on misses by when you miss the 3.
Right.
Buchan with the ball, dribbles to left elbow, cut off, now a backdoor cut, and Riley with the basket on a nice feed on a backdoor cut. Riley starts it off for Johnston.
They're really good. One of the things we didn't cover is how much Dowling needs to start off better in the first and third quarters, unlike last game where I think it's 16-2 and 16-7 in those quarters respectively. So a good start here would be very valuable to this game.
Well, Johnston's very athletic, but they're not as defensive athletic as Dowling saw Tuesday night at Centennial, where the Maroons were held to 31 points in the loss, 41-31. Johnston girls rolling in their last game. They defeated Des Moines Lincoln by a hefty margin, so that's where we're at. Dowling with the ball. Here's Gipple with it. As Dowling lobs it inside, Gipple's pass deflected. Now Zedeker in the corner, three-pointer right wing. No good. Rebound Johnston. Here's Riley with it. Diagonal pass to Gosling. And she dribbles to the front court. So the Maroons go 0 for 1. Long 3 up and good by the Dragons. Effortless was Eileen Tankey for 3.
Yeah, they got up the court and spread it really well, and wide open 3 there. Dowling did a good job of getting back, but they got back probably a little too deep for their shooters.
5-0 Johnston here in quarter number 1 of the girls contest. Dowling in their road maroon uniforms with white numbers. We're getting used to seeing that. 3rd straight game Dowling's been on the road, and we have been on the road. Johnston in their home white uniforms with the purple numbers with trimmed in gold. Zedeker with it, top of the key to Gipple, who's guarded by Gyamfi.
A lot of double weave.
Here's a backdoor cut to Zedeker. Now pull-up jumper from 10, up and no good. Tip up and no good. And ball safe from going out of bounds by Johnston, and Eileen Tankey gets it to Gyamfi. Down court to Riley, and she draws the foul as they'll wipe out the basket. And a whistle and a foul on Dowling. And this again will be on Dowling's junior, Julia Moore. Our officials tonight, Dwayne Duncan, Chris Lynch, and the man making the call there, Tyler Brady. Now the Dragons get underneath, and a shot up and no good, and they wave that off. Foul on Dowling before the shot as Gyamfi got the feed from the top of the key.
Boy, they do such a good job of creating their space inside and then holding off the Dowling's trying to front the post there, and it's just such a fight because they create good space, and the help side with their shooters is hard to get to it to help.
Second team foul on the Maroons. 5-0 Johnston. Dragons with it. 5:30 left here in the first quarter. Now a shot in the lane, no good. Fight for the rebound, and Julia Moore comes away with it for the Maroons. Moore, Zedeker, and Frericks, the three guards, with Tritton and Gipple. And I shouldn't say that. That's not really their designated position because everybody's interchangeable at guards. The European way, you get the 7-foot shooters that can post up, and they can also shoot the three.
Dowling's trying to, make Johnston play defense and break them down and get some back cuts or open threes once they get the drive going. But again, they're so closed up on them right now.
They just pass and cut. Now Moore in the lane. She'll make something happen. Her shot up, no good. Ball tipped from going out of bounds. Saved by Gyamfi right into the hands of her teammate at half court, Tanky, but then the steal by Dowling. So good effort by Gyamfi all over the floor. I thought Dowling got her rattled a little bit in game one, but she showed her poise in that fourth quarter. Now steal by Tanky. Eiley all the way down court. Post up against Frericks. Her shot up, no good. Ball slapped around. Zedeker with the rebound, and Dowling has it. Still trailing 4-0. Now the Maroons a turnover. They want to run. They ran right into a turnover. Riley with it underneath. The shot up and good. The basket will count, and a foul on Dowling. And that's the experience of Johnston against this young Dowling group. Fouls on Tritton.
Yeah, Dowling does not want to get into a running game with them at this point. It's really tough because they just explode out of the blocks and just go. Yeah, you're right. Gyamfi was frustrated as I watched again last night. I think she thought she was getting pushed a little bit more, and she probably was. But
Buchan's free throw is good as she completes the traditional three-point play, and Johnston out to an 8-0 lead over Dowling. Here in the first quarter from the Johnston gym, as Dowling goes on the road tomorrow, they travel to Cedar Falls. Johnston's regular season ends tonight with the Johnston girls, that is. And they will take on Council Bluffs team in the postseason as they'll face Council Bluffs Jefferson a week from tomorrow. Dowling with the ball. Johnston stays man-to-man. Nothing new. Back-to-back games, you look at your teams. Centennial, man-to-man defense the whole game. No zones. Right. Johnston will probably more than likely do the same.
Yeah, if they do, it'll be like a trapping zone that they try to go at Dowling to try to up the pace a little bit.
Maroons throw the ball inside. It's slapped around. Heller with it. Backdoor cut. And here's Gipple with the left-handed layup on the left side. Good. Heller with the assist there, Coach.
That was a beautiful pass. And Marion seems to calm things down on the offensive side for them a lot.
So Gipple with the first basket. Johnston down court. Their shot in the lane is no good. Rebound Dowling. Zedeker with it to Heller. She dribbles baseline. Leaves it for Gipple. The ball slapped out of her hands and stolen away by Gosling.
Yeah, Dowling's going to have to come to the ball.
Now Gosling battling at half court, and we got traveling on Gosling. She must have had control of it enough to call the travel.
That was surprising. It was both of them going for it.
So
I'm glad they didn't call a foul or anything there. You never know.
Well, that would have been Gipple's second. All right, substitutions in the contest. We mentioned Heller checking in for Dowling as Tritton sits down.
Yeah, Marin's created a couple open looks for Dowling. So maybe she's got the matchup to go at people a little bit better.
Johnston with the basketball. In there is Molly Nelk. We mentioned her instant offense and presence from off the bench, and they shot up and no good. Gyamfi with the rebound, and she taps it forward to Gosling. Dragons in transition. This is Nelk for three and no good. And rebound, Gyamfi, reverse layup good right over Gipple, and Jada Gyamfi with her first basket of the night and a rebound shot.
Yeah, they're just flying down there, and it's hard to get those box outs when they're coming crashing down with speed.
Emma Hampton in there for Johnston, number 33, a 6'1 junior. And we already mentioned Molly Nelk, averaging 9 points, leads the team with 42 threes, and she doesn't start in the lineup. Number 24 for the Dragons.
Yeah, they brought in more size because they needed more, right?
I'll tell you what, Chris Jellick, his 11th year here, did a great job. I remember when he was a coach at Mason City. And now he's down here. He was on Coach Guest's staff at Waukee for 4 years. And when Coach Gradeville retired, he got the job here at Johnston. All right, here's Moore in the lane. Her pass is deflected, and now a lead pass to Hampton, and a wide-open layup is good, and Dowling's going to need a timeout with Hampton scoring off the bench for Johnston. And all of a sudden, our score, a minute 47 left to go in the first quarter, Johnston 12, Dowling 2. We'll keep it here. It's a 30-second timeout called by head coach Tristan Meyer and the Dowling Maroons. I want to thank Ashworth Vision Clinic for supporting our broadcast all season long in our 45th year of covering Dowling Catholic sports, construction professionals, and dental associates. My partner tonight is Scott Babinat. I'm Mark Amadeo. As I want to wish Coach Deviney well. He is out traveling on a plane. Now you do that too, but you usually go to the West Coast. I don't know if he's going to Florida, but he's got a client out of town, and that's the news. Now I'm going to stick to that story. He's got a client out of town, so that's why you're here, and appreciate it, Scott.
It's good to be here. And again, Dowling, if they'll settle down, they'll get the shots that they want. It's just really hard against these really good defensive teams to be patient. And it's almost like when you do get an open shot, you're rushing it because you're like, oh, I got to get this off because they close out so fast. But they actually have more time than what they think.
Dowling with the ball, trailing 12-2. Minute 40 remaining here in the first quarter from the Johnston gym. Between games tonight, following the girls' game and before the boys, they'll have their senior recognition, and there'll be at least 11 players, 8 or 9 boys seniors, and 3 Johnston girls seniors. 3 of them, all 3 start, by the way, will be recognized along with cheerleaders and support staff. Here's Heller with it. Maroons just kind of looking for somebody to get open, nobody moving, and Johnston just all over the Maroons, and now we've got a blocking foul called on the Dragons, and they're going to get Hampton for the foul. That'll be her first, and Johnston's first, I believe.
Yeah, I really believe that Marin and Ava can get a lot going to the rim. I think Lauren Frericks could, too, if she had the confidence to put that ball down and go.
Maroons will inbound the ball. They get it to Gipple, left elbow. Now backdoor cut, and here's Zedeker with the shot. Rolls off the rim, no good. Just forced her shot a little bit, little rush with the good defense applied by Johnston. Minute to play, and the rebound out to the Dragons.
It's like you make a good play, and then the size is there, so you're navigating the next thing.
Isabella Balsley in the lineup for Johnston, a 5'6" sophomore wearing number 2. As Coach Jellick went to his bench, he's got 3 reserves in there at this time. Buchan with it. Now a long 3 up, off the front iron, no good. Offensive rebound, Balsley, and her putback is up and good over Zedeker.
Yeah, it's their motion and the way they cut, and it's almost like it's perfectly timed to be there. So, again, if you're trailing, it makes it hard to defend and box out.
A whistle and a foul on the Dragons. This will be on Melly Nelk. They're going to get her for the push foul as the Maroons try to go around her on Nelk. That'll be her first foul of the contest. And we've got, 25 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Johnston by 12, 14-2 over Dowling. Here's Frericks with it for the Maroons. They go left to right in front of us as we're located right behind the scorer's table. Now turnaround shot in the lane, good by Julia Moore.
Has a much better attempt there. Julia does a good job of getting her body into the defender so they can't go up and block.
All right, 5 seconds remaining. Johnston by 10, and an offensive foul called on Johnston. They went down the lane, and the Maroons draw the foul there. And it'll be a charging foul on Johnston. There's a whistle it on. Oh, check that. It's going to blocking foul on Heller.
Yeah, he pointed the other way.
He did. That's why I thought it was an offensive foul, and I think Kristen's asked him the same thing. Coach Jellick is smiling because he thought this. I think he saw the angle, but free throws coming, and it's good. The first one for Johnson. Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio, brought to you in part by Mercy One, the Catholic Tuition Organization, and Dental Associates. Second free throw is good, and that was by Buchan. And she finished the quarter with 4 points. And we've come to the end of the first quarter with the score. Number 1, Johnston, 16. 5th-ranked Dowling, 4. From the Johnston Gym, this is Mark Amadeo along with Scott Babinat here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
This is a Young Catholic Minute.
Hey man, don't impose your beliefs on me.
Whoa, hang on a second. If you really believe that people shouldn't impose their beliefs on others, then why are you imposing that belief on me? Like it or not, there are times when the right thing to do is imposing your belief on others. What if policemen didn't like imposing their belief that stealing was wrong on burglars? What if you told your dentist not to impose his belief that you needed a tooth pulled on you? There would be chaos. Sure, nobody likes to be told what to do, but sometimes we have to trust those who know better, like dentists and God. And if we don't understand something that God is trying to tell us, then instead of rejecting it immediately, we should search for the truth. If we do that instead of refusing to listen, we will discover God's plan for us, even if it's hard to understand at first. For more Young Catholic Minutes, go to youtube.com/youngcatholic.
And we're back here at the Johnston Gym alongside Scott Babinett, Mark Amadale, the Johnston Dragons and Dowling. Johnston leads it 16-4 in a battle of top 5 teams. Dowling with the ball. Heller gets the second quarter start. It's Heller, Moore, Zedeker with Ellie Olson in the lineup now for Dowling, the 5'9 freshman, and now a steal by the Dragons. They get in the front court. Here's Gosling with it. We'll get our first quarter statistics when we get a moment. A long three up and good, and that is Aaliyah Riley with her second field goal, and she now has 5 points. That's her first three. 19-4, Johnston by 15, and this thing is slowly getting out of hand with this experienced Johnston team. 20 in a row they've won, 37 of the last 38 games, and they are taking it to the Maroons here in the first half. Here's Heller, pull-up jumper just inside the three-point line. Good. Marin Heller put a move on Zoe Buchan there.
She did, and I think Buchan was trying to get the charge there, but Marin did a good job of pulling up short.
Johnson lobs the ball inside. Riley lobs into Jimphy, and something the Maroons did a pretty good job on the first game. Lobbing it in, and you kind of deflect that. Well, Jimphy went right through it, and she shoots and scores, and it's 21-6, Johnston.
Well, the problem with their shooting is it's hard to get that double team over there on that over the top. So they got to close up on the pass and make it harder to lob it a little bit higher and give Emma a chance on the front side and maybe give the defender backside a chance.
All right, Dowling will inbound the ball. I think a foul was called, but I didn't see who it was on, and they didn't post it. I think the scorer's table's looking the same way. It's like, okay, what number? They'll get next dead ball. They'll have to catch up to it. Dowling with the ball. Here's Heller with it. Nearly lost it. Now does. Right at the free throw line. Stolen away by Buchan, and a foul on Heller.
And that's really what you don't want to. You don't want to. You make a mistake and then you compound it with a foul. You really don't want to do. You want to get back and contain. It's really hard because she's such an aggressive player. So you don't want to take that away, but you get after a little bit to, don't double down.
Zedeker and Olson check out for Dowling. Heller will stay in for now, along with Julia Moore. Tritton back in. Gipple and Lauren Frericks. That's the 5 on the floor for Dowling with 6:15 to go. Pull-up jumper, good by Anna Gosling. That's her first 2 points of the night.
Yeah, we're not used to her shooting inside of two, are we?
23-6, Johnston over Dowling. Here's Julia Moore with it. She dribbles on the baseline out of bounds. Scott, real quick, you go through the first quarter statistics that you have.
Yeah, Dowling was 2 for 7 from the field. Johnston 6 for 12. Dowling had 5 rebounds. Johnston had 8. And turnovers were 5-2. Dowling had 5. Johnston had 2.
All right, appreciate that. 5:45 left to go, second quarter. At halftime, we'll have Clay Thielking, the Dowling boys coach, joins us. Preview their game. Long three up and good. You were saying about Gosling, there's her three that you're used to, and that is her, 39th made three of the year.
I shouldn't have said anything about her shooting three.
Timeout on the floor. We'll keep it here with 50. Well, they keep the they put the timeouts seconds on the clock. But we want to thank our supporters. They include Mercy One, Dental Associates, and Construction Professionals. And a reminder, the Dowling girls end their season tomorrow. They travel to Cedar Falls for a 3:30 matchup with the Cedar Falls Tigers, who are number 3 seed in Class 5A. Their record 12-7, and that'll be the Dowling girls' final regular season game. And then our next broadcast will actually be next Saturday, a week from tomorrow. Dowling hosting Ames at 7 o'clock on February 19th at the Dowling Gym. For Johnston, this is their final regular season girls game, and they will host Council Bluffs Jefferson 1 week from tomorrow on Saturday, February 19th, 7 o'clock right here at the Johnston Gym, as the semifinals. Both Dowling and Johnston are number 1 seeds, and they will host first-round games.
Right. And, that trip tomorrow will be a good thing for the team, and, get to play a competitive game. And remember, a couple years ago, we had a big win over there in playoffs against Cedar Falls. And Cedar Falls always seems to have good, decent teams, and so it'll be good.
Devaney and I went up. Devaney drove. I rode in the bus. Devaney drove me back, and we went up to the game. And we were high in the crow's nest, and I remember that night. It was a lot of fun. And best luck to the Maroons. And now Moore dribbles into traffic. Her and Jimphy are tied up in a jump ball, and it'll be Johnston possession with 5:20 to go here in the second quarter. 26-6. The lead has exploded to 20 points now for the Johnston Dragons, and I think Coach Jellick's going to have an opportunity to empty his bench tonight. He doesn't have much as far as numbers on his team that he keeps on in his rotation, but we may see them all.
Well, I mean, Dowling right now is trying to just probably do too much, and good teams will start to shut down what they know you're trying to do.
Here's Gymphy, a shot off the glass from the right side, no good. Rebound Dowling. And Gipple, she leads the charge, and she threw it behind Tritton. And you have your post player leading a 3-on-2 fast break, not a good sign.
Yeah, that was an unforced turnover there. And she at that point, she should just keep going and then open up the shooters if you can. And if not, bring it back out and run offense.
All right, Johnson with the ball. They go right to left, north to south, and we've got, an illegal screen? Says Tyler Brady. Yes, yeah. Indeed. That'll be on Gymphy.
Those are the calls you start to get as the game gets away a little bit. They probably in normal flow, that wouldn't be a bad foul called.
You think that's how?
As a coach, I would sit there, why am I calling that? But
Gymphy with her first foul, third team foul on Johnson. Dowling with 5. Here's Zediker with it, and she's well guarded. Gymphy now out on her. Ava picks up her dribble, and nearly a 5-second. Here's more. Julia drew the foul. And that'll be a foul on Gosling. And on Gosling, that'll be foul number 1. And Anna Gosling, one of 3 seniors on this Johnson team, along with Jada Gymphy and Zoe Buchan, all 3 starters.
Those are the plays you have to make. You have to drive, and you have to find the ways to create the contact and give yourself a chance, especially on this weak side.
And now Gipple is bumped out of bounds as she passed the ball, but here's Johnson with it on the turnover, now reaching foul on the Maroons. They're going to get, I believe, more for the foul, and they do. So Julia, that's her second foul. So she and Marin Heller both with 2 fouls for Dowling. Johnson, nobody more than 1 foul, as Eileen Tanky checks out for the Dragons.
Marin Heller back in for Julia.
And, as mentioned, Moore will check out. And Heller back in, playing with 2 fouls. They inbound the ball. Here's Riley with it. Ilea picks up her dribble against Heller, now overplayed by Dowling. Gets the Nelk. Molly guarded by Tritton. Now a long 3 by Gymphy off the left back iron. No good. Long rebound to Johnston. This is Gosling with it underneath. And a layup is good as she went right around Frericks.
Yeah, Gymphy for 3 and Gosling for 2. Doesn't sound right, does it?
Gosling with 7 points, all here in the second quarter. 3:45 left. Johnston by 22 over Dowling in this top 5 matchup. 28-6 Dragons. Here's Tritton with it, top of the key to Frericks. Maroons trying to run some offense. Frericks down the right side, underneath the Gipple. Layup good! Emma Gipple on the pass from Frericks. She dribble drived and found a seam.
That's a great job by the team. Steal by Marin Heller there.
And Dowling now will set up their offense. Maroons now just 4 points scored here in this second quarter as Johnson has outscored them 12-4 here in the second quarter after the Dragons led 16-4 at the end of the first quarter. Here's Frericks again down court. Now she spins in the lane. Jump stops, won't shoot it. Leaves it for Zediker, and Lauren exits the lane. Zediker in the lane. Her shot up no good. Rebound Gymphy. Good box out on Gipple that time. Now a steal by Heller. Down court. Layup is good. And Heller with 2 steals in the backcourt. And Johnston wants to talk it over. Coach Jellick did not like that, and he's kind of upset with that happening twice in a row.
And this is what you want to see. You want to see the fight in your team because, it looks dismal right now, but what's inside of you to fight back? Because, they're a young team. Dowling's a young team, and they just have to grow from this and scratch and claw their way back in. And it's, that's why these games are so important because if you learn young, and, it's one of those things I used to tell my teams, until you hate failure or losing, you're never going to work hard enough to get to the success you want. And that's I think that's what these young girls have to find out about themselves. This is a tough game, but, man, if they work hard, this will be them in a couple of years here.
That's right. That's right. Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio brought to you in part by Skeffington's Formal Wear, the Catholic Tuition Organization, and Ashworth Vision Clinic. Mark Amadale, Scott Babinett tonight from the Johnston Gym. And this will be the final girl-boy doubleheader of the regular season. The CIML conference games are done on the girls' side. The boys have 1 more week. Johnson out of that timeout has the basketball. And I don't think they made any changes in their lineup. As with the basketball is Riley to Gyamfi. Dribble handoff. Riley with it. Now they get it over in the corner. Nelk goes to the basket. Her shot up and no good. And a whistle and a foul on Dowling. And
Dowling was playing really good defense there. And just the last little drive there, they got caught behind a little bit and tried to block the shot.
the foul will be on Layla Tritton, the 5'8 freshman starter for Dowling. That's her second. And free throws coming. And that's Molly Nelk. Nelk's first point. She comes off the bench averaging 9 points a game. First in the team in 42 made threes and a 92% free throw shooter. That's your sixth player.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah, and Julia Moore's back in.
Second free throw, no good. I put the media hex on Nelk. Sorry about that. Rebound, Dowling. 29-10 Johnston. Yes, 29-10 Johnston. Approaching the 2-minute mark here, the second quarter. Clay Thielking will join us at halftime. And we'll have game two. Jimmy Cataldo will join me for the boys game tonight. Dowling with the ball. Heller with it. Comes off a ball screen by Gipple, but picked up nicely by Johnston. As helping out was Emma Hampton. Ruins in the lane and traveling on Gipple. She got in the lane of the Giants as she was cut off that time by Molly Nelk.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I thought she got off that dribble before that step.
Traveling on Gipple. Turnover on Dowling. The Maroons full court pressure. Dribbling against them is Isabella Balsley, and a reach-in foul on the Maroons. And they're going to get, oh boy, Heller for her third. So that'll be team foul number 8. Free throws coming for Johnston. A 1-and-1 now for Isabella Balsley, the 5'6 sophomore.
And another guard that just comes in and pushes pace. They're just so hard to guard that way.
You know, I think with a couple of Coach Jellick's subs, at least 3 of them, they could start for some other teams.
Yes,
they really could.
Yes. Nelk was the one a couple years back that beat Dowling on a last-second shot. And she's, like you said, she's coming up the bench with those great numbers.
Second free throw, no good.
Coaches never forget that stuff, Mark.
Never forget. I remember a few of those. I don't remember that. Dowling with the ball slapped in the backcourt on the pass. Good hustle that time by Eileen Tanky. Tanky coming off, or gets it to Fergs, rather, has it. Underneath to Gipple, her shot no good and drew the foul. This may be on Hampton, we'll see. And free throws coming for Gipple.
Lauren did a good job of driving there and finding Emma. Emma gave her space. I'd really believe if Lauren had put that shoulder down and go, she'd probably get to the basket herself there. And then that would allow Emma to come in and crash for the offensive rebound as well.
Free throw good by Emma Gipple. That is her 5th point of the night. Maroons scoring at a premium. It's 30-11. Johnston by 19. Johnston by 18. Second free throw by Emma good. A 64% free throw shooter on the year. She has 6 points. Minute 15 to play here in the second quarter. 30-12 Johnston. Number 1 Johnston with the basketball. Undefeated. 20-0. Winners of 37 of the last 38 games. Their only loss, the state championship game last year to Waukee. Beat Waukee at Waukee last year. Lost to them here. And they've been running the table since. And now underneath, a shot too strong, no good by Emma Hampton. Rebound Dowling.
Boy, that Waukee team last year was something special, weren't they?
Yes, they were. Now Fergs for 3 in the corner off the back iron, no good. Fight for the rebound out of bounds. We got a whistle and a foul on Fergs. And it'll be a 1-and-1 for Johnston. So Lauren picks up her first foul. That'll be the 10th team foul on Dowling. So double bonus now the rest of the half for the Dragons.
Yeah, that was an interesting. Those two schools, Waukee and Johnston, the last couple of years have done a great job. Both defensively sound. Katie Dinnebeer was actually Iowa's Player of the Year. But her on-ball defense was excellent last year, and that just really stopped a lot of teams from even getting into offense to create.
So now they've changed it. It's a 19 foul, and it'll be a 1-and-1. So the scoreboard does not sync with what the officials had. And the free throw, no good. Rebound Dowling and Tritton. As a free throw missed by Emma Hampton, who went to the line. Dowling with the basketball, trailing by 18 here in this second quarter. And now whistle and a foul as Julia Moore, she only has one speed, and that's go. Try to come around the ball screen. And a foul called on Buchan. That'll be her first for Johnston.
Yeah, that was one of those. She came off the screen from Emma, Buchan did, and she fell right into the ball handler. So
now Blanchard back in the lineup. J.C. Blanchard, 5'10 junior, wearing number 40 for Johnston. Dowling inbounds the ball underneath the Gipple. A power dribble, layup, good! She went right around Eileen Tanky, and Gipple shoots and scores. That's her 8th point.
Yeah, Emma did a good job of positioning really well, and misdirection opened that up for her.
The lead is now 16 for Johnston with 10 seconds left. Buchan underneath, her shot no good, rolls off the rim, out of bounds to Dowling with 7.5 seconds. The Maroons with plenty of time to get a shot off here, trailing by 16. Final seconds of the first half. Moore will throw it in. Julia gets it to Zedeker. Got to hurry. Zedeker with 5 seconds at half court and lost the ball, gets it back. Gets it to Frericks at the horn, up and no good. And we go to halftime with Johnston leading Dowling 30-14 here at the Johnston gym, as the Dragons outscored Dowling 14-10 in that second quarter after opening up a 16-4 lead at the end of the first quarter. We'll take a break alongside Scott Babinet. I'm Mark Amadale. Halftime here at the Johnston gym. We'll come back, total up some of our numbers. It's Johnston 30, Dowling 14. Halftime of this top 5A matchup here at the Johnston gym on Iowa Catholic Radio.
What is the best gift ever? Giving a Catholic education is at the top of my list. Your contribution to CTO helps families send their children to our Catholic schools who otherwise could not afford it. In giving to CTO, you receive the best tax credits ever. Pledge or donate online at ctoiowa.org. The bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formalware, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formalware, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Golden Rule Heating and Cooling. Since 1999, Golden Rule Heating and Cooling has been supporting customers with their rules to live by: respect, understanding, loyalty, expertise, and service. GoldenRulePHC.com.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel, 90.9 FM KLOX Creston.
And we're back here at the Johnston gym. Mark Amadale, Scott Babinet here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network as we're at halftime. And Johnston leading Dowling 30-14, and we're joined by Clay Fieldking, the Dowling boys basketball coach. And Coach, thanks for joining us. Rocking and rolling on a Friday night, on the road again, dark uniforms, you know, all that good stuff. You know how it works.
Yep, on the road, and should be an interesting evening.
Yeah, it should be. We're getting a lot of traffic up here. We had a group from that sophomore game in the other gym. They started walking towards Coach Babinet and I, and it's like, oh my goodness. I saw Cataldo and a few others that were leading the charge, and I thought we were going to have to move. But it all worked out. And, Coach, we're glad you're here, and it should be a good night for basketball. You got Johnston for the second time in less than, 11 days?
Yeah. Yeah, really good team. High-level players, really skilled. They present a lot of challenges, especially trying to guard those guys. And I think that was the difference the first time. They had so many skilled players that can make open shots, and when the floodgates open, everything happens pretty quickly, and we hung on for quite a while. Then it got away from us a little bit at the end. But new game, obviously, and we're anxious to get back after them again.
Well, I'm sure you are, Coach, but let's talk about the health of the team. That flu bug, that stomach virus been going around. It looks like you're getting one player back, and, Charlie Stewart may not be 100%, although he did give me a fist bump here earlier. I don't know if that means anything, but that flu bug, and you're trying to play a team that's a top 10 team in Johnston for the second time. So talk about the health of your team and any lineup changes you may see.
Yeah, it's making its way through our team for sure. I think we're kind of getting through the other end of it. Charlie's feeling a lot better. I saw Carson today, obviously, and he looked a lot better. Davis Scheck was back in school today and feeling good. So we'll have the bodies. The conditioning and things of that nature, we'll have to kind of read it. I think we'll go deep into our bench and do our best to keep fresh bodies out there. And we're going to need the need those guys to step in and contribute and be solid for us. So, yeah, we'll have those guys, and we hope their bodies respond well.
Well, last time we talked to you was after the Centennial game or during the Centennial game at halftime, and kind of put that game to bed a little bit and preview what have you the practice the last couple of days, obviously dealing with the health issues. What's happened the last couple of days? Now you prepare for Johnston for the second time.
Yeah, it's been pretty light, to be honest with you, Mark. We've been missing bodies. The guys that have been there have been dragging a little bit. So our practices yesterday was probably one of the worst ones of the season, and for probably pretty good reason. The energy was pretty low. So we'll see what we can muster up tonight. But you're right. We turned the page quickly from Centennial. The good thing about tonight is the familiarity. We know the actions they want to run. We know their personnel well, and that's one thing. Being able to guard it is a whole different story. But from a familiarity perspective, we feel like that's to our advantage tonight as far as a preparation standpoint, at least.
Well, it should be interesting. You go back-to-back. You have a game tonight, then you travel to Eastern Iowa, go to Linn-Mar High School, and you take on, the third-ranked team in the state, Cedar Rapids Kennedy, in a tournament at Linn-Mar High School. And I know it's always nice to get on the bus, kind of do a little team thing, get away, and go and play some other teams. And tomorrow you drew Kennedy in that tournament, huh?
Yeah. Watching film on them, and they're tough. They're gonna give us looks that we haven't seen this season. I mean, they play hard. They'll press us. They'll get in passing lanes. It's impressive. It's impressive to watch them on film. So we'll obviously have our hands full with that tomorrow. But it's a good growing opportunity for our guys. Obviously a quick turnaround from tonight, and a chance to play a high-level team on the road. And really, we'll learn a lot about ourselves tomorrow because they're going to do things we haven't seen yet this year.
And then you finish out the regular season next Thursday night, not on Friday, but on Thursday against Des Moines East. And then you play Monday night against Des Moines North, and everything works out. You'll be back on the bus. You're not heading to Eastern Iowa. You're going to the number 2 seed, Council Bluffs AL, who's a top 10 team. And maybe this whole back-to-back nights will prepare you for that road trip, which is hopefully you're looking forward to. You got to get through games, I know. Can't look too far ahead. You got to get through your first round, but it might be similar because those guys in that bus are familiar with traveling to AL.
No, you're right, and it's a great point, and that's something we'll talk about in hopes that we do get through that first round game. I think we'll have that road trip, the feel of that road trip, going to play a high level team on the road, and we hope to get to the point where that's experience that we can draw from.
Coach, I know the record's not indicative about the team because you have some kids that, you look back, you got a roster of 15, 4 played a total of maybe 10 minutes last year, 4 players. So this is a team that's kind of grown together. Good thing they give you 21 games because the 22nd game starts the elimination process in high school basketball in Iowa. But you got 21 games to kind of grow together. You as a new coach to them. And talk about some of the things that you see the positives out of this, maybe the last 10 games or so.
No, I know. It's such a long process, and we're still growing. You're right. Like, we're still learning about our team, and the roles have changed throughout the year like they do with any team. I mean, you look at a kid like a Davis Sheck who wasn't anywhere near the rotation to begin the season, and now he's a starter and somebody that we rely on. Joey kind of in the same boat where he came off the bench to start the season. At the moment, he's in the starting lineup, and so we're always evolving. I'm proud of that they've stayed together. Like, it's not easy to lose. We've lost a lot of games. We're 6 and whatever, and we've been competitive in those games, and it's nothing to be ashamed about. But that takes its toll too, and they've kept working. It's not always a thing of beauty, but they're for the most part dialed in and trying to do the right things, and that's all you can ask. So we're optimistic that we obviously haven't peaked yet. We got to get healthy. And we got to get some momentum going into that tournament, feeling good about ourselves. And I like our I just think I like our chances. We got guys that are capable of doing things that I think could surprise a couple teams.
But your team plays well, it seems like. We had this scenario before, and then you, on a Friday night, took a loss, and then you played Ames the next day and played them to a 5-point game. And I don't know how tonight's going to shake out, especially with the illness, but then you get back on that, you get on the bus tomorrow after playing a top 10 team, you go play a top 5 team tomorrow. The challenges are there. Obviously, your sub-state was rewarded because of your strength of schedule, not so much your record, but strength of schedule. The coaches in your 6 teams in your bracket saw that. and that's a reflection of your kids and how tough they played, even in some of those losses.
Absolutely. Yeah, that quick turnaround against Ames. Our guys performed really well the next day, and that game went down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes less is more. I think maybe not having time to prepare and think about it too much it works to your advantage a little bit. And so, when we do get to tomorrow, hopefully that's the case again.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate visiting with you, and best of luck tonight against Johnston. And if we don't see you after the ball game, best of luck at Linn-Mar tomorrow as you take on Cedar Rapids Kennedy in the Linn-Mar tournament. Valley's going to be there playing after you, I guess.
Yep, they'll play Linn-Mar right after us. So.
All right, best of luck, Coach.
Appreciate it, Mark. Thanks.
You bet. That's Clay Thielking joined us here at halftime. Dowling girls trailing Johnston 30-14, along with Scott Babinet, Mark Hamadale. Back to the second half in 1 minute here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
This is Dale Ahlquist with a Chesterton Minute. Have you ever heard someone say, the Catholic Church would be okay if it weren't for all the rituals? Why do people complain about rituals in the church? They don't complain about the rituals that fill the rest of their daily lives. They shake hands, they sign their names, they put candles on birthday cakes, they give each other flowers, they put on fancy weddings and somber funerals. Those are all rituals. They are symbols. They are simple ways of representing complex ideas. G.K. Chesterton says, ritual is a need of the human soul. In fact, it's a need of the human body, like exercise. Destroy your impressive ceremony, and all you get in return is unimpressive ceremony. Want more than a minute? Visit our website at chesterton.org.
And we're back here at the Johnston Gym alongside Scott Babinet, Mark Hamadale, Johnston, and Dowling. Dragons lead at 30-14. Dowling with the first possession and a turnover to start the second half for Dowling. And Johnston now in the front court. They switch baskets. Dowling going right to left towards the south basket here at the Johnston Gym. And Dragons going to the north basket. They lob it inside and underneath Jimphy, and she shoots and scores on a tremendous pass that time by her teammate, Anna Gosling.
Yeah, that high-low action is really working for them. And the shooters keep the help side away again.
Dowling with the ball. This is Frerichs with it. She's cut off on the right block. Gets it out to Zedeker. Jimphy with now 6 points here in the contest. She had 4 at halftime and just scored there. Runs with the ball. Frerichs trying to post inside. Can't get around the corner. Now shoots in the right block. It's no good. Outlet pass. Down court all the way is Gosling. Her shot up and in and out and good. Finally rolled around and went through. Good ball movement that time by Johnston.
Yeah, they get up the floor so fast. These good teams, they do the easiest things so well. So it's not like you're seeing a lot of fancy stuff. They just go.
4-0 start to the third quarter by Johnston. Now Fergus has the ball stolen away from her by Gosling. Gosling underneath, leaves it for Tanky, and her shot in the left block might have been partially blocked, no good. Rebound Gipple, and the other way we go. Johnston by 20, 34-14. It's the little things, Coach. In certain games, you can get by with those little things, and you win the ball game. Against the real good teams, the Centennials, and the teams like Johnston, and maybe the Valleys, you can't get away with those little things, and your window shrinks. And there's a short window. Maroons are finding that out. Here is Zedeker for 3, no good. Fights for the rebound. We got a loose ball foul called on Zedeker as she was battling there with Riley. And Coach, go ahead and give us the first half numbers if you could.
Yeah, Dowling was 6 for 14 from the field. Johnston 11 for 21. Rebounds, Dowling 8, Johnston 10. And turnovers, Dowling had 12 and Johnston had 5.
First team foul of the second half on Dowling. Zedeker with her first foul of the ball game. Dragons by 20. They've led by as many as 22 in the first half. And Jimphy underneath, they're going to call her for the travel. She was double teamed and nicely done as Julia Moore came down and helped with Emma Gipple on defending Jimphy.
Julia's fearless. She just hung in there. They didn't call the travel. They'd have to call a charge, I believe. Well, have to, right?
You said that earlier. I don't know what you're insinuating. They made the call. I like the call.
Well, I was saying, it was either a travel or a charge. He had to call one of them.
That's right.
But sometimes the refs don't agree with me. I don't get that.
It's been known to happen. You put the word coach in front of you, they don't agree with you. Now Gipple pulls up her dribble, and a foul called on Gyamfi, and 2 free throws coming for Gipple as Gyamfi kind of bodied Emma up a little bit, and that's her second foul for Gyamfi, and free throws coming for Emma Gipple.
Yeah, Dowling just needs to keep going at them on their drives and going hard. I mean, at this point, you're trying to close gaps, but you're also trying to gain some confidence to take with you further into the season.
Dowling had 3 players score in the first half. Emma Gipple leading the way with 8 points, 4 points off the bench for Erin Heller, and 2 points for Julia Moore. No one else scored. Gipple goes 1 for 2. She now has 9 points, and it's 34-15. Johnston with 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter from the Johnston Gym tonight on Iowa Catholic Radio, our final girls and boys doubleheader broadcast of the season as both teams go their separate ways. And now Johnston with the turnover as bouncing the ball off her foot is Anna Gosling, and it'll be Dowling basketball.
Yeah, Erin Heller in the midst of that pressure again. She's doing a lot of good things out here tonight for the Maroons.
Dowling will take over. Johnston stayed man-to-man all night. Here's Ellie Olsen, who's in the lineup. It's Olsen, Heller, Gipple, Julia Moore, and Ava Zedeker. Here's Olsen, top of the key.
The other thing you're seeing here, Mark, is how far Johnston pushes Dowling out in their offense.
And now turnaround shot in the lane, no good by Zedeker. She had the right shot, open look, but left it short. And now in transition, Johnston, three-pointer no good by Gosling. Rebound Dowling and Gipple. 34-15 Dragons. Dowling with the ball. They go right to left. Here's Gipple with it in the lane. And gets in the corner to Olsen. Coach Jellick didn't like that. He thought there might have been a travel. He might be right. He might be wrong.
Oh, no travel there, right?
But there was no call, and you play on. Dwayne Duncan, Chris Lynch, and Tyler Brady are 3 officials in the lane. A shot no good by Dowling. Rebound Gyamfi, outlet pass goes to Eileen Tanky. Now they try to find Gyamfi underneath. The pass too strong. Deflected in the hands of Zedeker. Dowling has numbers. 3-on-2. Zedeker in the corner to Moore. Corner 3 up and no good off the rim. Fight for the rebound, and Buchan has it for Johnston. Lead pass down court to Gosling, and a layup up and good. And Johnston wins that little scrum there, and 9 points now for Gosling.
Yeah, they just get out and go. I mean, they're already kicking people out once the ball goes up. Dowling actually got a nice shot that last time, and it wasn't a rush shot. It just fell off the rim.
Johnston stays man-to-man. Dowling with the ball as Gipple has it. Now dribble handoff to Heller. Maroons will run their half-court set with 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Zedeker with it. Leads for Gipple, top of the key. Now they try to get Heller isolated on the baseline. She's double-teamed. Left it for Zedeker for 3, left wing. In and out, no good as it rolls off the rim. Rebound Riley and Johnston. Dragons in transition. A head fake and a shot up and good by Anna Gosling. Gosling with her, with her 11th point, Scott.
Yeah, they're just. It looks like the Maroons are getting a little tired and on these kickouts, and Johnston's beating them down the floor and throwing over the top.
2:20 left here in the third quarter. 38-15, Johnston. Dragons with their largest lead of 23 right now here in the second half, and now
Gipple shot a 3.
Another missed shot, long rebound at Gyamfi. Now here's Riley on the baseline, or Gyamfi on the baseline, and she works against Gipple, and her shot is up and good, and a timeout Johnston. And the lead with 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter is 40-15 Dragons, and Gyamfi with her 8th point. And we'll keep it here with just under 2 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Mark Hamadale, Scott Babinett, and the Maroons now being outscored here. Dowling held to 1 free throw here in the third quarter as the Dragons now have a 10-1 lead here in the third.
Again, I hate to sound redundant, but Dowling just needs to do what they do to improve. They've gotten a couple open shots. They just haven't fallen. There's a lot of frustration out there right now, but they just got to fight. Keep fighting through it. It's the only way you're going to grow and get better.
A 10-1 spurt by Johnston as they lead it 40-15 here in the third quarter. Chad Jellick taking the timeout. So both teams with 3 timeouts remaining each, as I believe they're all full timeouts. Each team has taken a 30. Dowling with the ball. Here's Moore with it, Julia. I don't think there was any substitutions at that timeout. Heller with it in the lane, left block, guarded by Blanchard, and a whistle and a foul underneath. And they're going to whistle it on Johnston. Isabella Balsley, her first. That'll be the second team foul on the Dragons here in the third quarter.
That is a nice little matchup of those 2 small, quick guards.
Heller and Balsley, both off the bench, and both can both help their team. Now Zediker with it down the right side in the corner. Frericks for 3, up off the rim, no good, and the rebound Gyamfi and Johnston. Gyamfi looking for that long outlet pass to half court. Dowling had that well defended. Now the Dragons with it on the baseline. Here's Nelk with it, gets into traffic. They lob it inside to Gyamfi, and the shot blocked by Zediker, but Gyamfi gets the rebound. The putback from the left block is good after she had the ball blocked from the right block by the freshman Zediker.
Sometimes even when you do the right thing, it doesn't turn out the way you want it.
You don't get the roll.
But it was a good fight inside against a bigger post player.
10 points for Gyamfi, and now Moore in the lane. She passed at the last minute. Johnston with the steal, and they go all the way down court and score, as the basket is good by Emma Hampton. And a foul on Dowling. They'll whistle Frericks for the foul, her second. It'll be an and one possibility here for Emma Hampton, a 6'1 junior. She has 4 points tonight. Free throw up, good. 5 points off the bench for Hampton.
Yeah, the 3-point percentage tonight for Dowling's really suffering.
30-point lead for Johnston. Now we're approaching the running clock. If they get to 35. 45-15 Dragons. Here in game 1, our girls' game. Gipple underneath her, shot off the glass short. Well defended that time by Eiley Tanky. Tanky at 5'11", Gipple at 5'10". Rebound Dragons. Now on the pass, Balsley draws the foul. This will be on Julia Moore. That'll be her third foul. Tritton checks in for Moore with 31 seconds remaining. Ellie Olsen will check in for Dowling, replacing Emma Gipple.
Dragons important minutes for these girls.
Yeah, Dragons by 30, and now they inbound the ball to Balsley. Isabella, 5'6" sophomore, guarded by Zediker. Now with the ball is Johnston, and a foul on the dribble on Tritton. So Tritton picks up her third foul for the Maroons. That'll be Dowling's 14th foul of the second half. Johnston with 2 team fouls. 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter. With the basketball is Tanky. Now crossover, dribble handoff. It goes to Nelk. Molly with it. Looking for a backdoor cut. Can't find one. Well defended by Dowling. Balsley.
Dowling, these girls are working hard here on the defensive side here late.
Gyamfi out of the lineup here for the Dragons. So pull-up jumper at the free throw line. No good by Blanchard. Long rebound to Hampton, and we've come to the end of the third quarter with the score. Johnston 45 and Dowling 15. The Maroons with just 1 point in that third quarter. We'll return to the Johnston gym following this break. Our score at the end of 3 quarters of play, the Johnston Dragons 45, Dowling 15 in this girls contest in Class 5A from the Johnston gym tonight here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment. Whether it's in the classroom or at home, Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
I thought you said we were going clubbing for our anniversary.
Oh, we are? Ah, yes. Here it is.
The phone.
Right. For the Challenger Club.
Do we need a reservation?
There's no reason to have reservations about helping Iowa Catholic Radio.
Are they DJing or something?
It's the soundtrack to holiness. And the Challenger Club helps by challenging other Iowa Catholic Radio listeners to give during the Carathon.
Great. Just one more question.
Yeah?
What about our anniversary?
Oh.
Call 515-223-1150 to join the Challenger Club today.
And we're back here at the Johnston Gym. Dragons start with the basketball here in the fourth quarter, leading 45-15, and a whistle and a foul on Dowling to start things off. And that'll be on Macy Downing, who's in there for the Maroons. That's her first, and free throws coming for Gymphy, and she hits the first free throw here. Scott, quick numbers through three quarters.
Yeah, after the third, Dowling was 0 for 11 from the field. And Johnston was 7 for 11. 2 rebounds for Dowling, 11 for Johnston, 2 turnovers, and 3 turnovers for Johnston.
All right, Gymphy now with 12 points. She makes both free throws. Now a blocking foul called on the Dragons. They're going to get Riley for her first foul. And Dowling will inbound the ball underneath their own basket. Team foul number 3 on Johnston. 5 team fouls on Dowling. Here in the fourth quarter, 47-15. The Maroons are 3 points away from having the running clock thrown at them. Here's Gipple with it. Right block. Leaves it for Downing, who's in there. To Moore. Julia backs in at a double team. Ball loose on the floor. Julia has it. Looking for an outlet. Gives it to Tritton. And a whistle and a blocking foul called on Johnston. That'll be on Aaliyah Riley.
Yeah, they're so quick on those jump outs there. She got a little out of position there and fouled Layla there.
Well, Riley wasn't in charge of guarding Juliet, but she left her defender.
She jumped right out there.
Or left her player to defend and help, and drew the foul, unfortunately, for Johnston. 47-15. Johnston with the lead, and now here is Olsen with it. Ellie backs in against Gymphy, spins, can't get a shot off, to Downing. Macy with it, and we got 3 seconds called in the lane on Ellie Olsen. Yeah, turnover against Dowling here.
Yeah, a little bit of inexperience right there.
As we mentioned, up next for the Maroons, they get on the bus and travel to Cedar Falls tomorrow, take on the Tigers. 3:30 tip-off, and I believe JV1 and JV2 are also in action up there at Cedar Falls. Had a good trip up there last time with you guys during, I think it was a regional final, if I remember right.
Yeah, they had a couple good players.
Oh, they did.
We had a really good team that year.
An offensive foul called on Johnston. Aaliyah Riley with the push-off and Dowling with the basketball. But, yeah, it was a great trip.
Caitlin had a Caitlin game.
Really? Yes, she did.
That's hard to believe, right?
She did, and it got you to state. Yeah. And winning on the road because you were the lower-seeded team. You were the 2 seed, and Cedar Falls was the 1. Now Tritton will check out of the Dowling lineup. Heller back in, so it'll be Heller, Moore, and Zedeker. The 3 guards for Dowling along with Frericks and Gipple.
Wondering if they're going to let her get in the game there.
Got to check in first. It's funny if you're on the scorer's table and you're up near the middle.
Right.
Players just will think it's you. It's the guy that has the stripes. Pretty simple. You check in with him or her, and there's an X usually down there. That's where you go. But they're so focused on the game, they forget that, and it could lead to a technical foul, an administrative technical foul. You don't want that. Dowling with the ball. Frericks dribbling down. Had some room and lost the ball. It's turnover against Dowling as picking it up is Tanky for the Dragons.
Just got a little loose with that ball there.
Riley with it, now up top for 3 by Tanky. Good from the top of the key. Wow. Eileen Tanky with her second 3 of the night, and she has 8 points, 50-15.
And we'll be running clock.
And a running clock. 35-point lead for Johnston. Dowling with the shot. It's up and good. Julia Moore with her first 3 of the night. She now has 5 points to go with the field goal earlier in the game. And it's 50-18. I will stay with the 30 with the running clock. Now a lob pass underneath. Well defended and stolen away by Heller. They tried to lob it into Gymphy again.
Good pressure on the pass. Good defense on the front. And then the weak side came to get it.
Frericks for 3. It's off the mark. No good. Offensive rebound. Gipple. She goes right around Gymphy. Her shot no good. They kick it back out, and the Maroons will start over. Here is Heller. Shot off the glass. Good. And she had to loft it up near the top of the backboard to get it over Gymphy.
She's not scared.
There's no fear there. 6 points for Heller off the bench, 50-20. The lead is 30 for Johnston with 5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Running clock continues. Has to go under 25 before they start stopping the clock for out-of-bounds plays and situations like that. Free throws, they do stop the clock. So
you just taught me something.
You knew that, Coach.
I did not know that.
You knew that. You got to take the test. Take the test every year. You know that. Here's a shot in the lane, no good. Rebound Dowling and Zediker. Yeah, you get the running clock at 35, then it has to go to 25 before it's over. And now long three by Julia Moore is no good. Rebound Riley. Johnston 2-on-1 fast break. Riley gives it to Gosling. Her layup is good. Gosling now with...
Yeah, it's hard here, but you got to fight through and get back on defense on this. You just can't let them turn it into 2-on-1.
Gosling with 13 points. 52-20. Johnston, 4:10 remaining, fourth quarter. Here's Frericks, backs in, shot the left hand, good, nice move. Little inside pivot and a score with the left hand for Lauren Frericks.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple games ago when we were together about how Dowling needs to hit their landmarks. And that time she got a lot closer to that. A lot of times those drives through the nail, but tonight they've been driving way wide. And that's not what Coach wants.
And now down the lane, Riley's shot rolls off the rim, no good. Drew the foul to be on Zediker. And she'll go to the free throw line. Will Aaliyah Riley, 5'7" sophomore, being recruited by some mid-major teams. She'll have two free throws here with 3:49 left to go in the fourth quarter. First one is up and good. And you mentioned those little benchmarks you look for where that's your shot, above the block, below the block for the post players. Now, you can't do like track where you put tape down, and that's where I'm going to push off for a long jump, or here, on the volleyball. So you got to kind of know where those are. And the second free throw good by Riley.
But thoughts like driving through the nail, not getting kicked out beyond the elbow when you're driving, and so, or that reverse pivot right down the lane there was nice the last time.
Now Coach Jellick starting to dismiss his seniors. A couple of them will exit with 3.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. 54-22 Johnston over Dowling. Heller with the ball, directing traffic. And Mariner, shot from the left elbow, off the rim, no good. And the rebound comes out to Balsley. And here's Johnston with it. Outlet pass goes to Gosling. Back out to Gyamfi. She's guarded by who's guarded by Gipple beyond the three-point arc. Gets the Balsley right side. This is Gosling with it. Dribbles in the lane. Shot with the left hand, good. Are you kidding me? She changed
Senior
hands.
night.
Everything's going, and Gosling with her 15th point.
She's just a really good player, good shooter.
Now a whistle and a foul on Balsley, and we may see the exit start. They're going to take out Jada Gyamfi, and she'll get a hand from the crowd on senior night. A hug with her coach, Chad Jellick.
That was big for them when she came over from Urbandale.
No question about that. She'll leave with 12 points tonight. 56-22, under 3 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter of Game 1, our girl-boy doubleheader. Of course, it is senior night. That'll happen between games following the girls' game. Now here's Tritton for three, right corner, off the mark, no good. Rebound, Julia Moore. Her putback up and good. So offensive rebound and basket for Moore. She's got 7 points for the Maroons. And we got a whistle and a foul in the backcourt on Dowling and Zediker. So that'll be her third. And team foul number 7 on Dowling. And now another senior will exit. And that'll be Gosling. Anna, 5'7" senior, leads the team with 37 steals. Averages 12 points. First in the state in free throw percentage.
Right. Very good shooter.
Balsley at the free throw line. Makes the front end of a 1-and-1. 2:34 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Isabella Balsley, second free throw, good. She has 5 points off the bench for the Dragons. 58-24 Johnston. Zediker in the front court for Dowling. Over to Moore. There's Gipple with it, top of the key. Emma in the lane, little Euro step, layup good with the left hand. Went right around the defender, Emma Hampton.
Yeah. They're doing so. They're sticking with their offense and getting back and getting some things to build on to be ready to play tomorrow.
11 points for Gipple, 58-26. Johnston underneath, shot blocked out of bounds. Zediker with the block on Balsley's shot. And Dowling will start with their bench as they will go to it. As we're going to see Macy Downing check back in for Dowling as Heller and Gipple leave. So does Moore.
You know, Emma's played against bigger players all year, and she just fights. I have a great deal of respect for her for how hard she plays.
Undersized in the post, yep. But she is handy in the post, and now in the lane, it's Nelk getting loose, and she shoots and scores. She is their shooter now. She has 3 points off the bench. Molly Nelk, and she'll be a player and a starter next year.
Yes.
No question about it. Dowling with the ball. Frerichs with it. Dribbles in the lane. Left side. Can't get a shot off. Defended well by Tanky. Now to Zedeker. Ava spins in the lane. Pull-up jumper. Rolls off the rim. No good. It's been that kind of a night.
Right.
Rebound
She's had
Johnston.
some good looks.
And Hampton. And now Johnston with a long three off the back iron. No good. Rebound Downing and Dowling with a minute to play. And if this next young lady gets in for Johnston, we don't have her on the roster. So this ought to be interesting. Whistling the foul in the backcourt on Balsley. That'll be her third for Johnston. They'll send Dowling to the free throw line. Mackenzie Lauritsen, number 10, and she is a senior, probably about 5'7", 5'8". Free throw good by Zedeker.
You think they'll try to set her up with a shot here?
You know they will. Yeah. No, he's not calling out a play. Zedeker's first point of the night.
Yeah.
And that kind of a night. Second free throw good. Ava with 2 points, 2 for 2 at the line. 60-28 Johnston. 55 seconds remaining. Dragons dribble in the front court. Let's see if they do get a Lauritsen involved. Dragons dribbling it out. Here's Helming with it. Now to Nelk. Top of the key it goes to Hampton. Left side they swing it to Blanchard. Now to Lauritsen. Now backdoor cut. Lauritsen with the assist. Layup is no good, but a whistle and a foul. And they're going to give her all the credit. Says she made a pretty good pass. Foul on Dowling. Frerichs picks up the foul, her third, and free throws coming. That's the 18th foul on Dowling. 33 seconds remaining. 60-28. All Johnston tonight. First free throw, no good.
Hey, they missed a free throw. They can't do that, can they?
They usually don't. You mentioned they shot over 70% on the year. 79% free throw shooter. Second free throw off the mark, no good. Ball tipped out of bounds. It'll go to Dowling. Rare 2 misses by Molly Nelk, who's a 92% free throw shooter. Want to figure that one out on senior night? Now, Molly's not a senior for Johnston, but 20 seconds remaining. Dragons by 32 as they're going to improve their record and close out their regular season with a record of 21-0. Here's Frerichs for Dowling. If she loses out of bounds, it'll be Dowling basketball, and that'll do it as the clock continues to run. 60-28 will be the final. And congratulations to Coach Chad Jellick and the Johnston Dragons as they defeat the Dowling Maroons 60-28 here on senior night at the Johnston Gym. Dragons led 30-14 at halftime. They outscored Dowling 15-1 in the third quarter and win it 60-38 or 60-28. And Scott, as the Dragons go to 21-0, Dowling falls to 16-5. Your thoughts before we go to break in our postgame show here?
Yeah, well, it's a tough game, obviously, for Dowling. Again, Johnston just showed how good they really are, and that's that. You know, I think we had another game we talked about where it's like an avalanche game. It starts, and it just all of a sudden snowball turns into an avalanche. So you kind of got to try to flush this one and prepare for tomorrow. And that's the good thing about playing tomorrow, right?
That is. Dowling traveling to Cedar Falls tomorrow. 3:30 is the varsity game. JV1 and JV2 played before that, probably around 2 o'clock or so, and as they have 2 gyms going at once. But, yeah, you get to flush that. You get on the bus sometime tomorrow after 10 o'clock and travel 2 hours to Cedar Falls High, which is just about a mile or so east of the Unidome.
Yeah. No, again, tough night, but you know what? Again, you still want to play these games as hard as it is because that's where you find out about yourself. And, you know, I mean, hopefully the girls take, especially the younger, the whole team actually, but the younger girls hopefully see this and say, man, we have that much more to work on, and we've got to get better, and we will. And, you know, make a promise to themselves and each other. Never again are we going to let this happen. We're going to work that hard. And it's an amazing place to be if they can get to that part where mentally and physically, emotionally, everything they just throw in behind this because the reward is great when you put in the work.
Well, the Maroons have a little bit more work to do. They're not quite at the level of Ankeny Centennial and Johnston. We know that through the regular season. But, there's the postseason. How much improvement can be made? I know the Maroons will start off with a lower seed taking on Ames. but they'll have Waukee Northwest on the horizon in their regional bracket on the bottom side of that. So that's something to be mindful of.
Yeah, and I mean, again, when we first got together a few weeks back, it's like, did we think this is where they'd be at this point in the season? And they've had an amazing season with this young roster.
Yeah, won 11 straight to start the year off. Everybody's got high expectations, Coach. You're right.
And I mean, it's a long season, and it's a hard season. And the CIML is a tough league, and, you happen to hit the top 2 seeds in the state tournament right now and back-to-back games. And so, you take a couple hard lessons here, and now it's what do you do with it? And if you have the character that I believe these girls have, they'll fight back. They'll be ready to play tomorrow. And these coaches, they're relentless in their pursuit of getting the team ready. I mean, they'll be ready tomorrow.
No question. Kristen Meyer, Audrey Faber, and that guy Joel Danner, they'll get them ready, and they'll prepare for Cedar Falls. But again, congratulations to Chad Jellick on senior night. The Johnston Dragons win their 21st straight game tonight as they go to 21-0 with the win over Dowling. Final score, we'll go to break here, 60-28, the final. And we'll take a break. Along with Scott Babinet, I'm Mark Amadeo from the Johnston Gym. We'll come back and total up the scoring and statistics from Game 1 as senior night, as the Johnston seniors are being introduced at this time. So we'll have a delay with the start of the boys' game. And we'll return to the Johnston Gym after this timeout here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
60 Seconds with Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen.
What is the first reflex thought that we find in sacred scripture of God? Not the first description of him creating the world, but the first thought that he has about himself. Open Genesis and you will find it. Let us make man. Think of it, as if God could not exist without man. God does not need man to complete himself, to fulfill a need, but he needs man as a kind of a gift. He must have someone to whom he can show his love. The first monologue that we touch in sacred scripture is the monologue of God thinking about man. And what are the first dialogues in scripture? The first question in scripture is God saying to man, Adam, where art thou?
The people you know and trust are on EWTN.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel, 90.9 FM KLOX Creston.
Welcome back to the Johnston Gym tonight here in the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. Mark Amadale alongside Scott Babinet. Final score in Game 1. Johnston 60 and Dowling 28. The Maroons fall to 16-4 on the season, and they travel to Cedar Falls tomorrow. The Tigers of Cedar Falls with a record of 12-7 going into tonight. They're a number 3 seed in their regional Class 5A bracket, so a non-conference game, and that'll be the end of the regular season tomorrow afternoon for the Dowling girls, as they're ranked 5th with a record of 16 and now 16-5 with the loss tonight, 60-28 to Johnston. And the Dragons go to 21-0. They've now won 38 of their last 39 games. What a streak they have, Scott Babinet. And you got to hand it to Coach Jellick. He keeps this team loose. He keeps them going. They keep making progress. I think they're better than when Dowling saw them at the end of January 11 days ago. They're a much better team.
Again, and it's funny because a lot of times people try to make basketball so technical, but the best teams do the easiest things well. And you absolutely saw that tonight, whether it's high-low post, pushing the ball up the court, creating 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, boxing out, getting that great outlets. They just do the simple things so well. And that's what good talent and good talent development does. You can see that difference and the experience behind it. So
yeah, they certainly do. Well, Coach, do you want to go through the statistics, or you need more time? Because I got everything totaled up here, and I think it adds up. How about that? But I'll let you go first.
Well, I had Dowling 11 for 36 from the field. Johnston 21 for 40. 21 total rebounds for Dowling, 25 for Johnston. The turnovers, Dowling ended up with 16 and Johnston with 10.
All right, and the scoring tonight, we'll start with the visitors of Dowling Catholic. 5 players scored for Dowling, and I believe One starter did not. That was Tritton, who did not score. As we go through the Maroons numbers, Dowling was led tonight by Emma Gipple, 11 points and probably led in rebounds. I don't know if she got a double-double again, but Emma, who led Class 5A in total rebounds and in offensive rebounds, she's second in defensive rebounds, finished with 11 points tonight. 7 points for Julia Moore, 6 points off the bench for Maren Heller, 2 points each for Ava Zediker and for Lauren Frericks. And Layla Tritton, another starter, did not score. Neither did Ellie Olson or Macy Downing, who came off the bench for Dowling. Maroons went 5 of 6 at the free throw line. For the Johnston Dragons, they were led in scoring. They had 2 players in double figures, led by Anna Gosling with 15 points, followed by Jada Gymphy with 12 points. And those are 2 of Johnston's 3 seniors tonight. Zoe Buchan, the other senior, had 5 points. 7 points for Aaliyah Riley. 5 points for Emma Hampton off the bench for the Dragons. 5 points for Isabella Balsley. And then rounding out scoring, 3 points for Molly Nelk, as Johnston went 12 of 16 at the free throw line. So they actually made 12 free throws. Dowling made only 5 and attempted 6. So they even out-hustled the Maroons in the free throw end of it, Scott.
Johnson's free throw, the percentage took a hit tonight, right? 12 for 16.
Yeah, the Dragons came in here, and I had them 79% from the free throw line. And, yeah, some of those reserves that got in kind of hurt the team average. We know better than that,
Yeah,
though.
you just have to be facetious sometimes. It's,
That is true. Well, let's take a look at the quarter scores before we take a break, as now they're introducing. They've already got the girls and boys basketball team seniors recognized, and now they're going through the dance team and cheerleaders. It is senior night here at the Johnston Gym, and the game got started. Number 1 Johnston led Dowling, 5th-ranked Dowling, 16-4 at the end of the first quarter. Dragons outscored Dowling 14-10 in the second quarter, so it was 30-14 Johnston at halftime. And then in the third quarter, Johnston 15-1 over Dowling. Dragons led 45-15 at the end of the third quarter, and Johnston outscoring Dowling in the fourth quarter 15-13 to win it 60-28. So now in the series, Dowling leads the series 24-12, but Johnston's won 7 of the last 8 matchups, as this series goes all the way back to, I guess, when Quick Staff was started back in 2007. So the Maroons lead the overall season series, but Dragons winning 7 of the last 8 going into next year, or middle of March.
and you saw a trend from both games. Johnston came out and hammered Dowling in the first and third quarters of both games, and you just have to get to a better start. And I think Coach tried to do that tonight with the way they tried to hold on to the ball a little bit more to get the shot they wanted, but I don't know if it took them out of rhythm but again, the good teams speed you up when you don't want to be sped up. And, again, there were a lot of open shots. I think if you go back and watch the film, Dowling did have a lot of open shots, but I think they rushed them because the feel of the game is faster than maybe what it is. The perception beats reality a lot of times. And good offense will beat good defense if you're patient and you don't get your mind doesn't get sped up. And that's the hardest thing, is slowing your mind down.
Yeah, and you got a young team that you're trying to do that with, along with Emma Gipple, an undersized post player, but leads the state in rebounding. She's found a way to do that. But others, it's all stepping up to the next level. The Maroons are at one level. You don't go 11-0 without being at one level. Now, are they in the upper 5 level? That's to be determined. That will be determined here as the postseason moves on, Scott.
Yeah, and what I would want my players to do is I'd want them to look at the video a little bit. You want to flush this game, but find the good things and start seeing the game in your mind before you ever play it, and getting a mental picture so that when that moment comes, that shot opens up. Because your best shooters, we had the privilege of watching Caitlin for 4 years.
Yes, we did.
She took a lot of shots, but she made a lot. But she wasn't afraid to take a shot, and she had such a quick release. And even if it was tight spaces, and you see that even today in her game. So it's one of those things, if you see the game in your mind before it happens, and it slows you down, so to speak, and then you start playing to your abilities a little bit more. I just think our young players got sped up a little bit more than they wanted to tonight.
Yeah, they certainly did, and you got to credit the Johnston Dragons
Yes.
for that. The 3 seniors that are graduate, I think every CIML coach will make sure they do cross the stage. I'm referring to Zoe Buchan, Anna Gosling, and the All-Stater Jada Jimphy. Again, this is the same team with rare exception. They lost a few players that played for a state title last year, and they're certainly on their way again this year. They're the number 1 overall seed. All right, Scott. Well, we're going to take a break. And tell you what, Jeff Piggott is our studio producer tonight. We don't give him enough credit. We appreciate Jeff. Jeff, let's take a 2-minute break. They're still doing introductions of the seniors here at Johnston High School with the different activities, cheerleading and whatnot, and the dance team now being introduced. So we'll take a break. Scott Babinet, thank you. Thank you for coming out of retirement and sitting in with me on a Friday night. Safe travels to you, and who knows what's on the horizon.
I loved every minute of the 3 games we got to do together. So
appreciate that.
It's a fun team to watch.
Coach,
Bad night tonight, but fun team to watch.
Personally, you did a great job with me, but the best part is you on the bench with Coach Meyer and Joel and all that. You and Danner and Faber. Miss that, and I'd love to see you back on there. But I totally understand. And we'll take you up here if you're going. A lot of people, you know what? You're up here, and as Coach O'Connor said, "Hey, I'm undefeated." I'm undefeated.
It's a lot easier, right? Yeah, I mean, those are great friends of mine, and I've just enjoyed the opportunity. Those 5 years were 5 of the greatest coaching years, and I got to go to a game with Joel. We got to go see Anna Wanek play last week, and that was
Simpson.
fun.
Yep.
And
doing a great job down there.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty sure as long as we all stay in the area, we'll get together once in a while, and we still text back and forth. And I do miss it, but the day-to-day is a little hard with my job and family situation. But I had a good run, 30-plus years in it. So
it's a long run. Well, Scott, we appreciate all you do. This is Scott Babinet, folks, who's sitting in with me tonight. Mr. DeVinny caught a flight somewhere, probably a warm climate, but he said it was business this time. But we appreciate
it. Warm.
I hope so, too. I think it was. But, Scott, thanks for all you do. Thanks for all you've done with the program. And hope our listeners, and I know I've enjoyed it, appreciate your perspective. I mean that.
Thank you. It was fun.
All right, we'll take a break. 2-minute break there, Jeff, if you mind. If you don't mind. Final score in Game 1, it was Johnston completing their regular season with a record of 21-0, defeating 5th-ranked Dowling 60-28 here at the Johnston Gym. We'll take a 2-minute break and come back as Coach Cataldo will join me. Jimmy Cataldo will join me for the boys' game between Dowling and Johnston. We'll pregame that coming up after this 2-minute break here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Thought of the Day with Monsignor Frank Bagnano.
One of the most consoling passages found in the New Testament in the Bible are the words of St. Paul to the Corinthians, letter number 2. It goes like this: "For those who love God, all things work together unto good." All things, not some things. Sometimes we can see that, but often we cannot. Even our past sins, once we've turned away from our past sins, they can be used by God for the benefit of other people. Because of this, even St. Paul himself experienced his own weaknesses and his sins, and he experienced God's mercy, so he can sympathize with other people when they are weak. Yes, our past failures and sins and weaknesses are all redeemable, and God can use them miraculously to help other people. For those who love God, all things work together unto good. And that is today's Thought of the Day.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Dental Associates, addressing your smile needs and dreams. 515-225-6742. Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com. Thank you, Dental Associates, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One, your expert circle of personalized care for all your health needs. With more care locations than anyone, your best life is their one purpose. Find your doctor at mercy1.org.
And we're back here at the Johnston Gym. Final score in game number 1. It was the Johnston girls defeating Dowling Catholic 60-28 as Johnston goes to 21-0 and concludes their regular season as we have senior night activities going on here at the Johnston Gym. Mark Amadale now joined by Jimmy Cataldo in game number 2. And we're going to have an extended pregame here, Coach, as Johnston, I think, has just concluded their senior night. They've just concluded it. So we may get started here before we know it. And welcome, Jimmy, to the contest. So moving over to the boys' side tonight with Coach Devaney off on a plane somewhere.
It's one of those unexpected move-ups. I wouldn't call it a promotion because the girls' basketball is a really good thing to watch, and they do a great job. But, you kind of got moved over to the other seat tonight.
Well, you did, and you earn that. When you do stuff like that, you earn it. So I'm glad you did, and you're doing fine. You'll be all right. I'll get you some of the stuff that you need.
Well, the one thing that I've noticed sitting up here at Johnston, which has a really nice facility, is we need booster seats. You can't see over the railing.
Well, you go over there, look across from us, the TV side, because Johnston streams their games internally. They have Randy Sharp does a great job with that. Well, the one thing you will notice there, Mr. Cataldo, they're up on a little bit of a riser. We didn't get that privilege. I looked at Randy and said, okay, we'll stand. So we stood the whole game, and we're sitting down now as the teams are out warming up. But you will figure that out, too, throughout the night, as I did.
Well, I got to talk to Nate Zittergroen, who's a former assistant coach at Dowling and former player at Valley, but he's an administrator here at Johnston. So got talking about the Johnston live feed that they do here. The students do it.
Yes, they do.
And so what I come to find out through Nate is these kids take a TV and radio production class. And I think that's a great thing for you. because he said that a former radio host teaches the class and really works the kids in through production. And first thing I thought, boy, that's a great thing for Amadeo during his
I appreciate
retirement.
I appreciate you thinking about me doing that. And all kidding aside, I've been over at Grandview teaching a class on that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I've done that here I haven't done it here in the last couple of years because of COVID, but yeah. But I'm glad they do that. I love to see the youngsters get in here. And matter of fact, I was watching a game the other day, and they had one of the guys from UNI who just graduated. He's ready for ESPN now. He's that good as a senior, working with some of the guys up in northern Iowa that do local events on TV and radio. So we like seeing that, and they do that here at Johnston.
Well, you see that even at Dowling, is that now they're implementing curriculum that kids can look into that they want to maybe pursue past high school and college, and so offering that type of curriculum here at Johnston, and then even at Dowling, they're starting to do some things and really aid in these kids and their interests in future endeavors. So really cool thing.
All right, well, the boys' game coming up, and it's Johnston and Dowling. Of course, the Dragons haven't played in a week because their game on Tuesday night was suspended. Yes, suspended with just 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second quarter at the Roundhouse at Lincoln. Basket broke. Johnston trailed 25-13. The state, not the teams, the state ruled a no contest and will not be made up. So the Dragons haven't played other than a quarter and a half. And then, of course, they played last Friday night. But Johnston boys, records 14-3. They're 8th ranked in the Class 4A rankings. Dowling, of course, 6-12. And this is the second time these two teams have met, just like the girls, in the last 11 days, Jimmy.
It's certainly a heck of a basketball team in Valley or Johnston. And I did not know that they were down against Lincoln. But, that's no small feat because Lincoln's got a nice basketball team as well. So you can probably see these kids wanting to get up and out and run, especially on senior night.
Sure.
Some really good seniors are graduating for Johnston tonight. And so, it brings a challenge for Dowling, who's still feeling a little bit of the aftermath of the illness going through their team. And but, you're getting closer and closer to the end. And it's Friday night, and those are nights you'd always love to play. And so I see a really good effort tonight from Dowling, but certainly from Johnston as well.
Well, you see the captains meeting with the officials, Dwayne Duncan, Tyler Brady, and crew. The good news is that Carson Brown will be in the starting lineup and playing. Now, he's coming off that stomach flu. Charlie Stewart had it a week ago at the Urbandale gym. And matter of fact, he showed up, he and his twin brother, Ben, and they both left right before the team took the floor because they were both suffering the effects of the stomach flu, so it's made its way. And as we talked to Coach Thielking at halftime of the girls' game, he says, everything seems fine now, but you never know who's been lingering with that stomach flu, and that's just something that happens with teams. As you know that from coaching football, you have more of a chance there than a 15-team roster here in basketball.
Well, but it gives other guys the opportunity, and I think that's a fantastic thing, especially when you look at some really good underclassmen who are able to come off the bench, get some more experience out in the starting lineup. Of course, Davis Sheck has taken advantage of some of the opportunities he's gotten. I think Joey Coppola was mentioned the other night is looking more and more comfortable in his role, and in his leadership, even though he's a sophomore, is critical for this thing to move, being the point guard.
No question about it. We should take a look at, as we have some time here in our pregame, it's Dowling and Johnston tonight in Game 2. The girls' game was won by Johnston 60-28, and we just got done with senior ceremonies, so the teams are warming up. A later start tonight, and we should recognize some of the boys' state swim qualifiers from Dowling Catholic. They started tonight in Iowa City at the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center. They got underway tonight at 5:30. The Maroons qualify 5 individual swimmers. 4 of them are in 2 different events, and then, of course, they're involved with 2 relays. So best of luck to Nick Spike and the Dowling boys swim team at the state tournament going on in Iowa City tonight, and they continue tomorrow at 12:30. And then district wrestling begins tomorrow for Dowling, as the Maroons were knocked out of the dual meet on Wednesday at Ankeny, as Urbandale defeated Dowling and ended their dual season. But the traditional wrestling gets underway tomorrow. Dowling will be at the 8-team Council Bluffs Lewis Central District beginning at 11 o'clock. And best of luck to Riot Finch and the Dowling wrestling team. Jimmy, you know some of those folks that are wrestling, and I don't know about swimming. There's been a few football players that swim, but there's more on the wrestling team. And best of luck to them as the road to the postseason continues.
It's critical about the multi-sport athletes we talk about at Dowling, is getting kids more in tune to getting out and playing other sports and excelling in other sports. It certainly makes a better and a more well-rounded athlete. But certainly you look at our wrestling guys, and there's some guys that got me out to watch wrestling this year, and I haven't seen wrestling in a couple of years. And I think the culture is changing, and you see the Frost brothers, and Carson Hagen's having a heck of a year, and Rumley, and there's certainly some lower weight kids that certainly are going to make a run. And it'll be interesting to see how many kids Dowling qualifies for Wells Fargo, which I think could happen maybe possibly up to 9 kids. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens there.
Well, we recognize them, and safe travels. The swim team heading to Iowa City not only tonight and their parents tonight and tomorrow, but also the wrestling team heading to Council Bluffs Lewis Central tomorrow. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. But Jimmy, as you look at this game, I know you got any keys written down, or you just got notes about me and taking a class here at Johnston with media?
Well, I'm a great listener, so when I hear things like that, it's something I gotta remember. No, you look at as I mentioned, Johnston. You certainly have some players that you're going to have to identify, and it's going to be critical in some of the matchups with Trey Lewis, averaging 22 points a game, and of course Stephen Kramer, who's really lit things up in last year's state finals.
Kramer now, his uncle was my classmate in 1980. Now, did his uncle fly back from Washington? He usually will make an appearance. I haven't seen Steve, but that's
you got to repeat
Stevens.
that. 1980.
1980, yeah.
Wow.
Older than dirt.
Wow.
But he was here last year, and he was here at Dowling when Dowling played at the end of of course, that was extended because it was supposed to be on January 15th. The snow hit. They've moved it to January 31st. I don't know how that affects Steve's flight, but, he was in our class. So that's his uncle. And of course, might be watching his nephew. So, you mentioned the Kramer kid, and, it's the second time around, and Clay kind of talked about that. We'll be interested to see how the matchups go and how the game flows. But Trey Lewis, how about this? 3rd in scoring, 4th in assists. These are all in Class 4A. 2nd in made three-pointers with 35. And 2nd in three-point attempts. He's attempted 129, and he's made 50, So he's 2nd in both categories in the three-point. So he can shoot. The question is, are you going to go out and guard him like the opponents do to Drew Morrow and trying to neutralize Drew tonight and trying to get him open?
Well, I think you have to. I think you got to try to get the ball out of his hands. Try to let somebody else create their shots. The problem being is you got guys like Kramer and Proctor, and then you have Simpson, and certainly other kids who can step in when Trey Lewis maybe have an off night, which there's a few nights when he has off nights. But it will be a matchup it's going to be interesting to see is who is Coach Stilking going to put on Trey Lewis. Is he going to start with Joey Coppola, who's had some experience with Trey Lewis in the summer leagues, and he guarded him several minutes the first game. Are you going to put Drew Morrow? The only problem with putting Drew Morrow on Trey Lewis is you want to save Drew's legs. And if we've seen Drew plays a really hard style of basketball, that's including his defense. The thing is when he plays really hard defense, he tends to lose his legs late in games. And you need Drew to be playing at his best in the fourth quarter.
Now, how about this young man who came out of nowhere, off the bench for Brian Frick and the Johnston Dragons, Sam Tornabane. Now, he's a young man who broke the rim at Lincoln, although he got credit for it, but he didn't really break the rim. It was a nice dunk, but I think it was wear and tear. But Tornabane, he only had like 1 or 2 3-pointers. He's now up to 7 threes. He's their sixth man here in the last 11 days for Lincoln. Number 40, when he comes off the bench, 6'5" junior. He's provided a spark that you want to see off the bench, and the Maroons have got to answer that with their bench, don't you think, tonight, with either Colin Clark, Jack Odie, Mata Brua. They've got to match that intensity. And, of course, Quincy Ferguson, the Dowling guard, they've got to match what Johnston brings off the bench.
Well, the bench play becomes critical, especially in the playoff run. Foul trouble, you need somebody to jump in because you're a one-and-done situation. So as you build throughout the season, your bench, and this young man, Tornade, who's taken advantage of those opportunities and stepped up in a six-man role, certainly is going to be somebody to be formidable. But you mentioned, Jack Odie is a heck of a shooter for Dowling. He's getting some more minutes. Colin Clark was able to start the other night in place of Carson Brown, and his defense has been outstanding. And he had some offensive plays that certainly really excelled Dowling into a situation to push Ankeny Centennial in that first half at least. And then Quincy, Quincy Ferguson, who's a senior, who's now coming off the bench. He's putting in some really quality minutes and is starting to excel in that role where you certainly need him.
All right, you're listening to the pregame show before tonight's boys game between Dowling and Johnston here at the Johnston Gym. We're about around 3 minutes away from starting lineups. We're going to take our break before the tip-off, and along with Jimmy Cataldo and Mark Amadale. If you tuned in late, the girls' game was won by Johnston. Number 1 Johnston defeating Dowling Catholic 60-28. Dowling girls dropped to 16-5, their record on the season. Johnston now 21-0, and their regular season has ended for the Johnston Dragons. They'll take on a Council Bluffs Jefferson team a week from tomorrow. Dowling girls have one more game left. They'll go to Cedar Falls tomorrow afternoon. We'll take a break and come back with the starting lineups. Dowling and Johnston here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
This is a Young Catholic Minute.
Do people who commit suicide automatically go to hell?
The death of a loved one through suicide is one of the toughest things for anyone to deal with. But fortunately, all is not necessarily lost. While it's true that suicide is listed under the grave list of sins, remember that 2 other things must happen at the time of the sin for it to be considered mortal. 1, the sin has to be fully consented to. 2, the person has to know that what they are doing is mortally wrong. We can never know exactly what a victim of suicide is going through, but depression or other mental illnesses can lead a person to do things he or she would not normally consider doing in their right mind. And if they're not fully in control of their thoughts or their actions, then God, in His perfect, infinite mercy, will know and judge them accordingly. For more Young Catholic Minutes, go to youtube.com/youngcatholic.
And back here at the Johnston Gym alongside Jimmy Cataldo, Mark Amadale, as we're set for the boys' game. Dowling and Johnston tonight here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network. Jeff Pickett is our studio director, and Dowling boys, their record is 6-12. The Maroons have kind of hit a wall. Number one, you're playing one of the toughest schedules in the state, as we've talked about all year, and that's kind of what Coach Stilking brought to the table Sunday when they had the seedings for the sub-states. But the Maroons had their 2-game winning streak snapped with the loss on Tuesday night at Ankeny Centennial, 49-40. And the Maroons have lost 4 of their last 6 games. And, of course, the meeting with Johnston about 11 days ago, Johnston defeated Dowling 59-41 at the Dowling Gym. So the Maroons have that to overcome. along with the stomach flu going through. And you mix all that in, and it's like, okay, you're playing back-to-back. And Dowling, after tonight's game, travels to Linn-Mar, and they'll take on number 3 Cedar Rapids Kennedy tomorrow afternoon. So that's what the Dowling boys have in store, Jimmy.
It's tough to have the number 1 strength of schedule in the state because you're playing that every night. And with Johnston and then Cedar Rapids Kennedy and then Centennial played very well the other night. But you go back to that game back on January 31st against Johnston, and Johnston came out, had 4 kids in double figures. And in fact, Dowling was ahead after the first quarter, 9-7, and things got a little away from them in the second quarter. They did well Dowling comes back and plays well in the third quarter, and then Johnston runs them out of the gym in the fourth. So, of course, Dowling needs to have their legs. They're going to be able to have to play well. They're going to have to shoot the ball well, to stay in this. But they're certainly going to have to play a great defensive effort against Trey Lewis and Stephen Kramer tonight.
Yeah, Johnston started 9-1 on the season. They went 5-2 since. They've won 12 of their last 14 games. They're on a roll. And they were trailing on Tuesday night at Lincoln before the game was called off due to the broken rim and backboard at the Roundhouse. So they're on a roll. They've got mix and match. And I'm looking. Yep, Coach Woodley's on the bench tonight. Remember the game at Dowling? He had to sit a game for whatever reason. I haven't talked to him about it. I should have texted him earlier, but I didn't. But Andy Woodley, who's a high school football official, missing a game. I wonder how that's going to run. You would never see me doing that. As a
football coach, you just don't question it. If he is officially, that is not going to question it. I'm going to take his word on it. And hopefully, we get a call when we really need it.
When we really need it. Okay, let's take a look at the starting lineup. Start with Dowling. The Maroons are the visiting team. They're wearing their road dark uniforms, and we're trying to look at the lineup as Davis Scheck, I think, is in the lineup tonight, as we thought he might be suffering the bout of the flu. Maroons will start Carson Brown. He's missed a couple games with the stomach flu. Carson is a 6'2 senior, averaging 8.5 points. He'll wear number 3. The other guard is expected to be Davis Scheck, and he is sitting ready to be introduced. 5'11 junior, averaging 7 points, feeling the effects of the flu. And the third guard is Joey Coppola for Dowling, a 5'10 sophomore, averaging 4 points. He'll wear number 15. And the fourth guard in this lineup is Drew Morrow, 6-foot junior, leads the team with 38 made threes. He'll wear number 25. In the center for Dowling, Jalen Pettis, a 6'3 senior, averaging 7.5 points, leads the team with 5.5 rebounds, and Jalen will wear number 43. So it'll be Carson Brown, Davis Scheck, Joey Coppola, Drew Morrow, the 4 guards, along with Jalen Pettis for Dowling. The head coach is Clay Thielking in his first year, 6 wins, 12 losses, assisted by Nick Wagner and Jimmy Nahas. And also on the bench, Kevin O'Hare. The Maroons come in averaging 57 points on offense. They give up 55.5 points on defense, and Dowling's record is 6-12. And they earned a number 3 seed in their sub-state. That'll be getting underway a week from Monday. And now for the home team on the scoreboard, the Johnston Dragons. The head coach in his third year is Brian Frick. 41 wins, 16 losses. Took him to the state runner-up last year, losing to Waukee, assisted by Andy Woodley and Josh Kennedy. And the Dragons' record is 12-5. They're ranked 8th in Class 4A. And they'll start this lineup at one guard, Trey Lewis, who Jimmy and I were talking about, a 5'10 senior. Leads the team in scoring with 22.2 points a game. Leads the team in made threes with 50 a game. Leads the team in rebounds with 7.5 per game. And in assists, 5.5 a game. And in steals, 31 steals on the season. And he stands at 5'10 and will wear number 3. The second guard is Talon Proctor, a 5'11 sophomore, averaging 4 points. And the third guard is Stephen Kramer, who we talked about earlier, a 6'5 senior, averaging 16.5 points, and is tied for the team leading rebounds at 7.5. He does lead the team in blocks with 12. Kramer will wear number 5. One forward, Nathan Ruish, 6'4 junior, averaging 7.5 points. And the center is Jacob Simpson. Simpson, a 6'5 sophomore, averaging 5 points and 5 rebounds. And he'll wear number 42. So it'll be Lewis, Proctor, Kramer, the 3 guards for Johnston, Ruish, and Simpson in the post. And the Dragons' record is 14-3, and they come in averaging just over 70 points a contest while giving up 56.2. So that's the tail of the tape there, Jimmy Cataldo. And what are some of the thoughts you have before we tip it off?
Well, as I talked about earlier, is the matchup is going to look at is who's going to be guarding Trey Lewis. The anticipation would be Joey Coppola early, getting a little bit of Drew Morrow on him with bodying him up. But their ability to guard Trey Lewis around the perimeter and block him out, since he is leading the team in rebounds, in points, 3 steals, total rounded player. So got to play well against him. And then, again, for the Maroons is you got to be able to shoot the ball. When the ball gets into your hands, your feet are set. Knock down some threes, attack the basket, get to the free throw line, and make this a 4-quarter game, and then see where the chips fall.
All right, the tip is up and controlled by Dowling Catholic. Jalen Pettis out leaps Jacob Simpson, and we're underway. A long 3 by Marr, top of the key, good. Drew Marr gets things started with a 3-pointer from the top of the key, 3-0 Dowling to start this contest. Dragons go right to left, north to south here at the Johnston gym. Now corner 3, left wing, good, and both teams coming out hot. Nathan Ruish with the 3 for Johnston. Wow, Jimmy.
As we mentioned, we are seeing Joey Coppola face guarding Trey Lewis around the 3-point arc, but that other guys have to step up and play defense, get through the picks or switch if that's the call, and that's where Dowling got caught up. They did not switch the pick, didn't get through it, and Ruish hit it.
And now Dowling with the ball, and on the baseline, Davis Sheck, a head fake, wanted to shoot the 3, head fake, dribbled baseline, had the opening, but traveled with the basketball. Turnover against Dowling. We're tied at 3. Underway here in the first quarter of the boys contest. Earlier tonight it was Johnston 60, Dowling 28, the final in the girls contest of top 5 teams. Here's Lewis with it for Johnston. Dowling stays man-to-man. Johnston's been man-to-man, and now a backdoor cut. Lewis underneath tried to underhand it to Simpson on the pass. It's stolen away by Dowling. Here's Carson Brown in the lane, and a charging foul called on Carson Brown has taken the heat. Was Mason Ryan, who got the late start for Johnston. Ryan off the bench drew the charge.
Carson's got to see that. Ryan was standing in the middle of the lane, setting up this charge as Carson Brown reaches half court. Carson's got to see that, not force that play, get it out, or hit the 10-foot jump shot.
Mason Ryan got the start tonight, a senior on senior night, 6-foot senior, averaging 8.5 points. He was a starter mid-year. Now pull-up jumper at the free throw line, good by Stephen Kramer, and that just looks effortless when he shoots the ball like that. Pettis was on him.
He can be really long on his jump shot. You got to hand his face, but Stephen Kramer is a heck of a basketball player, and you can see why he's doing what he's doing at his age.
Now Pettis, a pass in the corner to Coppola, 3-pointer, no good. Off the mark, rebound Lewis and Johnston. Dragons coming down court, and Lewis can't get the shot off, but he gives it to Ryan for 3, left wing. It's no good, and out of bounds over the backboard. It'll be Dowling basketball.
It's going to be transition defense on a missed shot. Johnson's going to get out and run, and so Dowling's going to hustle back on defense. But this early on, Joey Coppola's doing a pretty good job with Trey Lewis on the defensive set as he can continue to shut him down. And Joey's gotten a lot of confidence over this last half of the year, and I think he's going to do a pretty good job tonight.
Now Morrow for 3, left wing, hits the front of the rim, no good, left it short. Rebound Lewis and Johnston. Dragons lead it 5-2 as Dowling got out to a 3-0 lead, and then Johnson's hit 5 straight. And now a shot in the lane, it's no good by the Dragons. Rebound Dowling. Ruins in transition. Here's Coppola looking for a cutter, can't hit Marlon. Now swings it to Sheck. Davis dribbles inside, gets it to Pettis. His shot off the glass, good. Nice dribble penetration that time by Davis Sheck to Pettis.
It's a great pass by Sheck. Drawing 2 people, easy bounce pass in, and then Jalen Pettis putting up the ball on the block for 2.
Johnston with the basketball as they go right to left. Dowling stays man-to-man. Backing in is Kramer. Goes baseline. Nice defense that time by Carson Brown. And now leaves it for Ruish, who dribbles in the lane and has it deflected. Now Kramer with it, guarded by Brown. Kramer spins, now whirls, and a shot just inside the free throw line. Good, kind of a fadeaway, if you will, by Stephen Kramer, his 4th point.
Just a talented shot by Stephen Kramer. Got Carson into the lane. Does a reversed fadeaway shot, and really soft shot by Kramer to hit it.
Now Maroons skip the pass, and over in the left corner for 3. It's good. Davis Sheck, stomach, flu, and all, hits the corner 3.
What you're seeing out of the Maroons is that they're able to set their feet on their 3-point shot. Drew Morrow had 2 set shots, and Sheck had 2 set shots. If they can get those to go down.
Now Lewis loses the basketball. All the way down goes Carson Brown. It's blocked by Stephen Kramer, and the Johnston fans react to that. And the other way we go with Johnston with the ball, and a foul on Dowling. 8-7's our score. Dowling with the lead, and the foul on Drew Morrow, his first.
Be interested to see some of the ill effects that Carson Brown has had, battling the flu. Seems to be moving pretty well, but wasn't able to, gain any steps on that fast break a shot. And Kramer comes in and blocks it.
Tornabane in there for Johnston. Keep an eye on him as Simpson sits down. Sam Tornabane. Now Johnston with the ball. Follow-away jumper by Kramer. Leaves it short. And a rebound Pettis as he boxed out Tornabane to get the ball. Dowling with it. Maroons lead by 1. 4 minutes remaining here. Backdoor cut by Pettis. Reverse layup, good! And the assist to Davis Scheck.
That's 2 assists by Scheck, but what a play by Jalen Pettis. In the lane, scoop under, right-handed shot across the backboard. Put a little spin on the ball to let it go in.
Dowling by 3. 10-7 over Johnston. And now a long 3. In and out, no good by Lewis. And the rebound out to Pettis, and he had it slapped away from him by Kramer, and Dowling will keep possession. Maroons with the 3-point lead. And now substitutions as Carson Brown, he's kind of winded. Coach Theo King did talk about, getting kids up to speed after missing time, and you don't want them to lose their lungs because stamina is a big thing in this game, as you know, Jimmy. And
it's 2 straight games against 2 very, very good opponents. So being able to go to the bench, keep kids fresh is going to be critical the next 2 nights.
Charlie Stewart back in the lineup as Carson Brown sits down. Now Kramer with the steal in, coast to coast for the basket. Stephen Kramer with 6 of Johnston's 9 points here in the first quarter. And it's a 10-9 Dowling lead on the steal. All right, Dowling with the ball. Here's Morrow right wing. Dragons stay man-to-man. Here's Charlie Stewart underneath the Pettis. His shot off the glass. No good. Too strong, but a foul called underneath, says Tyler Brady. And this will be on Johnston. Sam Tornabane with the foul. That's his first. He's a young man that's been instant offense and defense. And he's got the unusual.
The Maroons have been able to find Jalen Pettis on 3 different occasions now. So Jalen's finding his way open at the block, and that's aided by Johnston having to have help defense on Dowling's penetration to the basket.
Both free throws good by Pettis. He has 6 points here in the first quarter. Dowling's lead is 3, 12-9 over Johnston. Dragons come in with a record of 14-3 and a number 8 ranking in Class 4A. Dowling unranked with a record of 6-12. And now Pettis pokes the ball away into the hands of Davis Scheck, and Dowling now with the steal. Here's Morrow with it. Step back 3. He won't take it. Leaves it for Charlie Stewart. Stewart down the lane. His shot blocked by Tornabane. Ball loose. And Lewis picks it up for Johnston, and a reach-in foul on Dowling. They may get Pettis, and they will.
Charlie's just getting caught going to his right side, which has been his dominant side throughout the year, and he just got to get a little bit better protecting that basketball because his athleticism can certainly get him above the rim. He's just getting caught, when defenses are overplaying his right side.
When Drew Morrow reversed the ball to him, he was at the top of the key, and Charlie wouldn't shoot it there, and he took it down, and turnover. Now Tornabane gets underneath and gathers the ball in and scores. Sam Tornabane. He has the distinction of breaking the rim that stopped the game at Lincoln, and it really wasn't his fault. It was a nice baseline dunk. He came from the left side, but the rim, I think it was damaged before that. I think the girls did it during the girls' game.
You got to understand, we play our Italian Sunday league at Lincoln, so we could have been a culprit to that.
You heard that admitted here on Iowa Catholic Radio, folks. Kramer with the ball. His shot blocked by Pettis, and rebound Charlie Stewart. We've seen some great defensive plays. Now here's Scheck in transition, 3-pointer, no good. Ball slapped out of bounds, and they say Kramer stepped out of bounds when he saved it. It'll be Dowling basketball with 1:40 remaining. First quarter, 12-11, Dowling over Johnston as Matabrua for the first time tonight in the Dowling lineup, as is Colin Clark here in the final 1:40, Jimmy.
You look over the past several games, and the Maroons have had such contested three-point shots that they've just their shooting percentages have gone really down the tanks. But tonight they're getting their open looks, and I can see them hitting a few of these here coming down the line.
And now Matabrua with a quick move. His shot up and no good. Might have been blocked by Tornabane as he got the rebound. Johnson the other way with it. And we're approaching the 1:20 mark. Underneath Lewis, off balance, good. And there's no way Davis Scheck can stay with him like that.
He's just so good coming off picks and comes around, rolls around off the pick, and Scheck got himself chasing Trey Lewis to the basket, who's so incredibly quick.
13-12, Johnson by 1. Here's Charlie Stewart coming off a ball screen. Underneath the Matabrua. A head fake, his shot up, blocked. Blocked by Johnson, weak side help by Ruish. And rebound Dragons, here's Trey Lewis. Minute to play in the quarter to Kramer, who's guarded by Clark. Now Lewis for 3 over Carson Brown, off the mark, no good. Weak side rebound, Dowling and Davis Scheck.
love what the Maroons are doing defensively on Trey Lewis. You had Joey Coppola for his stint on the field floor. Davis Sheck had him for two possessions, and now Carson Brown mixing it up, different type of athletes guarding Trey Lewis could cause him a lot of problems.
Kramer guarding Stewart. Now dribble handoff. See if the Maroons can hold it here. 25 seconds left in the quarter. Johnston by 1. Here's Carson Brown with it with 20 seconds remaining. As the Maroons spread the court and hold for 1. Possession arrow favors Johnston. There's Carson Brown to Stewart. 10 seconds remain. The Maroons will have to attack the glass. Here's Stewart in the lane. In the corner to Brua. Won't shoot it. 5 seconds remaining. Mata, the pass to Carson Brown. Carson, step back three at the horn is up and short. And we've come to the end of the first quarter. With the score, Johnston 13, Dowling Catholic 12. And alongside Jimmy Cataldo, I'm Mark Amadale. We'll be back with the second quarter in 1 minute here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
What is the best gift ever? Giving a Catholic education is at the top of my list. Your contribution to CTO helps families send their children to our Catholic schools who otherwise could not afford it. In giving to CTO, you receive the best tax credits ever. Pledge or donate online at ctoiowa.org. The bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formalware, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formalware, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Golden Rule Heating and Cooling. Since 1999, Golden Rule Heating and Cooling has been supporting customers with their rules to live by: respect, understanding, loyalty, expertise, and service. GoldenRulePHC.com.
And we're back here at the Johnston Gym alongside Jimmy Cataldo, Mark Amadale, underway here in the second quarter. Johnston 13, Dowling 12. Jimmy, you got to look at the first quarter numbers.
Maroons shot 2 of 4 from the field, 50%. Just 1 for 6 from 3. Had some really good looks, just weren't knocking them down. 16%. 4 total rebounds and 2 turnovers for Johnston. 4 of 8 from the field for 50%. 1 of 4 from 3 for 25%. 3 total rebounds and then 3 turnovers for the Dragons.
All right, Trey Lewis commits the turnover as he picked up the offensive foul as he set an illegal screen after passing the ball. 13-12. Johnston with the lead. Dowling going with their same lineup. It's Joey Coppola, Drew Marr, who will launch the three, top of the key. Good! That's the second made three for Drew. And you mentioned it earlier, Jimmy. He's got to keep his legs for the second half. He has 6 first-half points.
Well, that's how Drew started the first quarter, by hitting a three-point shot. Starts the second quarter hitting a three-point shot. Really positive thing, and so did Johnston.
And now Johnston, Sam Tornabane, with his 5th point off the bench, hits the 3. And he's a guy you just don't look to match up with. He comes in, but he's been effective for head coach Brian Frick this year, especially the last 2 weeks.
Well, if Tornabane can shoot the ball, his length is going to force Jalen Pettis out of the block, and that's just an atypical thing for Jalen to guard the perimeter shot.
Now here's Carson Brown. His shot up and no good, and a ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Johnston basketball with 6:52 remaining here in the second quarter. Johnston 16, Dowling 15. Mark Amadale, Jimmy Cataldo tonight as we are on the balcony. Or is this a track? I've seen this guy walk by me several times since the boys' game, and I think he's doing the laps. We're on kind of a mini track up here, Coach.
I didn't realize you were so popular here in Johnston. Everybody's giving you a shrug to the shoulder, and I think I'm chopped liver. Nobody talks to me.
The boys or the girls' coach, Coach Jellick, won in 21 in a row. He wanted our post game. I was going to take the headset off you and interview Coach Jellick because that'd probably be more entertaining, but we left you here. Here's a shot in the lane, no good. Dowling with the rebound and down court, and Coppola takes it to the hole and scores. Nice move by Coppola right over Kramer.
Great finish by Joey, especially as Kramer is coming through to block the shot. Joey, nice slough kiss off the backboard.
Now how about that? Hanging in the air, Trey Lewis, a shot off the glass, good, and the Maroons now have been let up here in their transition defense. Trey got an awful good look from the left side, and he scores his 4th point.
If you're Dowling, you just want to just stick with them, play with these guys as long as you can. Johnston made the run in the first game in the second quarter. If the Maroons can keep them tight throughout this half, go into the halftime with some momentum. Good things can happen.
And Coppola, a nice head fake. He got his away from his defender, but he loses the ball out of bounds. He tried to go from the left wing towards the baseline, and a turnover against Dowling. And Johnston with it. We'll set the Dowling lineup. It's Coppola, along with Carson Brown, Davis Sheck, Jalen Pettis, and Colin Clark, the 5 on the floor for Dowling Catholic. And here's Lewis in the lane. A little teardrop up, no good. Rebound Pettis. Now we got a loose ball foul called on Johnston. The reach in. Talon Proctor, who was scheduled to start tonight as a sophomore, but he gave up his spot to senior Mason Ryan, and Proctor off the bench picks up the foul for the Dragons. See, that is team foul number 3 on Johnston. Dowling also has 3 fouls here, Coach.
Well, it's a great job again by Joey Coppola, but he gets picked up the top of the key. And Carson Brown really saves that as he comes and gives help defense, allows Joey to recoup off the pick. But again, continue to stick with Trey Lewis, make him frustrated as you get through the game.
And now a charging foul called as a nice pass by Drew Marl to Pettis, but Johnston read that. An offensive foul called on Jalen. That is his second foul. Now get Mata Brua off the bench.
Jalen's having a very productive game with 6 points in this early part of this game, and the Maroons have found him on the baseline. Seeing him pick up 2 fouls it may hurt, it may help. Let's see what Mata does here with 5 minutes to go in the third.
All right, Lewis across the timeline, guarded by Coppola. That was one matchup you wanted to keep an eye on. Who's gonna guard Lewis? Coppola has him right now. Now the swing pass over to Lewis, dribbles in the lane against Coppola, pulls up, double team, now kicks it out. Tornabane for 3, good. That guy has been a killer from the outside because they left him open.
It forces Mata now to go out and guard him outside the three-point arc, and Mata doesn't want to give up that speed, so he has to play off him a little bit to protect for the dribble drive. But if Tornabane can hit those shots, it's going to be really, really tough for the Maroons.
Tornabane, 6'5", tall, lanky kid, and he leads in scoring off the bench with 8 points now for Johnston. Dowling with the ball, trailing by 4. This is the largest Johnston lead right now, 21-17, and we've got a timeout called by Dowling. We'll keep it here with 4:20 left to go second quarter. Timeout by the Dragons. 21-17, Johnston with the lead over Dowling. Mark Amadale alongside Jimmy Cataldo. And we want to thank our supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio. They include construction professionals, along with Ashworth Vision Clinic and Dental Associates. And a reminder, tonight we got some CIML games going on. These are all the final girl-boy basketball doubleheaders of the year. Both teams go their separate ways beginning tomorrow. Dowling and Johnston here. Southeast Polk is at Waukee. Urbandale at Valley. Ankeny Centennial at Ankeny. The Battle of Ankeny tonight. Fort Dodge at Mesa City. Waukee Northwest travels to Marshalltown. Ottumwa at Roosevelt. And first place on the line in the Metro Conference, Lincoln at Hoover, as Lincoln has a half-game lead. And, of course, if Hoover wins at home, they tie for the Metro Conference title, and East is at North. That's in, again, boys played, Lincoln and Hoover I'm referring to. Tomorrow the Dowling boys get on the bus, travel to Linn-Mar High School. They got a 1 o'clock tip-off against third-ranked Cedar Rapids Kennedy. It'll be a boys-only game. And the Dowling girls, they have a 3:30 tip-off at Cedar Falls in a girls-only contest. It'll be a JV1, JV2, and a varsity game. 5th-ranked Dowling girls at unranked Cedar Falls, who's a 3rd seed. Now Dowling out of the timeout. Davis Sheck, a three-pointer, up and no good, and a rebound comes out to Dowling. Had a good look there.
Johnson comes out at a 1-3-1 zone out of that timeout.
And now a nice move by Tornabane. He's been the Dowling killer. He now has 8 points of his 8 of his 10 points in the second quarter, and the Dragon lead is 5.
He's versatile. He hits 2 3-point shots, and that time he makes a move on Mata at the baseline, and nice easy 2-foot shot. So he could be a problem for the Maroon big guys in this game.
Check that. 10 points now for Tornabane, and now Dowling underneath, and a whistle and a foul called on Johnson. That'll be on Tornabane, his second. And not much to the disdain of head coach Brian Frick, who didn't agree with that.
If that's the one thing that the Maroons do have over Tornabane is size. So Mata certainly has an advantage at the block for the rebounds, and that time he gets the offensive rebound and draws the foul and gets him Tornabane into early foul trouble.
Early foul trouble for a guy who's coming off the bench. There you go. Mata Brew at the free throw line. Hits the first one, second one on the way. In and out, no good. Rebound Kramer and Johnston is 23-18. 5-point Johnston lead. 3:20 left to go here in the second quarter. At halftime, we'll have the Dowling girls coach, Kristen Marr, will join us. Now a nice backdoor cut and a layup good by Trey Lewis. He got a nice pass that time, or that time by his teammate.
A great pass. Proctor gets the backdoor runner and converts.
Now Dowling comes up empty on their possession. All the way down court is Lewis. He's just pushing the envelope. And he's going to be called for traveling.
It's going to force Joey Capola to sprint back on defense, especially on missed shots, because once Trey Lewis gets the rebound or gets that pass, he's out running. And it's going to force the guards. This time it's Joey. And he hustled back, got back there, and forced a turnover.
He did, and that was something Dowling got out of there for a period of time in the first quarter. They made that adjustment. Turnover against Johnston. Dowling with the ball. Here's Brua on the left elbow. Head fake against Tornabane. Leaves it for Drew Morrow. Drew coming off a ball screen. Can't get the shot off. Over to Capola. 2:30 remaining. 25-18. Johnston by 7. This is the Dragons' largest lead. We got traveling by Dowling. So both teams with back-to-back turnovers. And now Odie checks in the Dowling lineup. Maroons will get a little taller as Davis Check will sit down.
But Johnston's now extending their defense, where we talked about the first quarter where the Maroons were getting good look three-point shots. Now Johnston's coming out and guarding the Maroons, and that time got Drew caught in a decision to make to throw or to shoot, and he got caught in a turnover.
And here's dribble penetration by Lewis and a three-pointer up good by Mason Ryan. That's his first three of the night, and now the Maroons nearly lose the ball. Carson Brown tracks it down, gives it to Drew Morrow, dribbles baseline, looks, double-teamed. And Dowling may need to call timeout, and they do. Heads-up play by Capola as Dowling gets the timeout with 2 minutes remaining. And let's see what they call. If they keep it, it'll be a full. We'll take a 1-minute break with 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter from the Johnston gym. Johnston 28, Dowling 18, here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
This is Dale Ahlquist with a Chesterton Minute. Have you ever heard someone say that the church needs to keep up with the times? G.K. Chesterton says that all this talk about keeping up with the times has been uttered hundreds of times before. To be up to date, he says, is a paltry ambition, except in an almanac. The church certainly does not need to imitate the secular world. In fact, what does the word secular mean? It does not mean worldly. It does not even mean irreligious. To be secular simply means to be of the age. That is, of the age which is passing. And in the case of anyone trying to keep up with the times, the age that is already past. So what the word secular really means is dated. The church's truth is never out of date because it is eternal. Want more than a minute? Chesterton.org.
And we're back here at the Johnston gym. Mark Himadale and Jimmy Cataldo with 2 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Dowling with the ball out of the timeout. Maroons have 3 timeouts left. Johnston has all 5 of theirs at their disposal. Carson Brown, Drew Morrow, Jack Odie, Joey Capola, and Mata Brua. Now Brown leaves it for Capola. Top of the key for 3. In and out, no good. And Tornabane with the rebound, and the Dragons with it.
That ball was halfway down the basket. And hate to see that one come back out.
Oh, Tornabane, a great assist, and slamming it home is Kramer, but he's going to be teed up for hanging on the rim. So Kramer with his 8th point, and that'll be a personal foul, too. That'll be his first foul. And Dowling will be shooting 2 technicals, and Drew Morrow. So you can't hang on the rim. You can't lift yourself up after you slam it through. If you're thought of being undercut, I know you don't understand this, Jimmy. This is above the rim.
I was going to say, you know this by experience, right?
I do. I do. Back in the 8-foot baskets on the south side.
It's a good point. If you watched that Clemson-Duke game last night, Duke kid goes up for a slam dunk, gets undercut.
Yeah, that was dangerous. So if you're getting undercut, you can hang on the rim, but Kramer slammed it through and kind of pulled himself up, then let himself go and let the crowd know it. And Stephen Kramer picked up the technical foul. That's his first. He has 8 points. Both free throws good by Drew Morrow, and it's 30-20. Johnston's lead is 10, their largest of the night.
I think the Maroons got to get back to what they were doing so well, was with moving without the basket. Don't get caught sitting around watching.
Now Kramer underneath with the loose ball. His shot is no good. Rebound Lewis. And now Trey comes out with 1:10 remaining. And he's guarded by Capola, and a reach-in foul from behind on Capola. And they'll wave off the shot, out of bounds to Johnston. That'll be Dowling's 14th foul. And on Joey, that'll be his first foul. 15 foul on Dowling, 5 also on Johnston. And we're in the final 66 seconds of the half. The Maroons by 10. They like to get it down to single digits here before the half. Tornabane with it, guarded by Brua, top of the key. Now we got a blocking foul and an illegal screen once again on Johnston. They're going to get Tornabane for the foul. That's his third.
That's a big foul, and of course Joey sold that. I mean, he got picked pretty hard and tried to fight through the pick. Really allowed him to get the better position on the pick and drew the foul.
Yeah, Jacob Simpson will replace him. Jacob started 6'5" sophomore for Johnston, averaging 5 points, 5 rebounds, but they like the way Tornabane plays. And now the starter has to come in and fill in for the sub. Here's Mata Brua with it. 40 seconds remaining. Brua looking for a backdoor cut. Gets it to Coppola. Joey back to Brua. In the lane. Pull-up jumper is short. And a rebound Johnston. And that is Nathan Ruish, who we haven't heard much from here in the second quarter, with the rebound. Lewis in the lane. Leaves it for Mason Ryan. Back to Lewis. Little two-man game left wing as Johnston clears out. Lewis in the lane. And his shot is partially blocked. Foul on Dowling. They might get Brua for the help defense. We'll see. Nope, they're going to give it to Coppola. So team foul number 6 on Dowling, and Coppola with the second foul.
You know, as you mentioned, with just under 19 seconds to go, the Maroons now down 11. Coming into the quarter, they were just down 1. So Johnson's extended it to 11. That, working to get that down to single digits is going to be critical, especially getting into the halftime.
Lewis hits the first free throw and the second free throw. He has 6 points, comes in averaging 22.2 points a game, and leads the team with 50 made threes, which is second in Class 4A. 10 seconds remaining. Carson Brown between the circles. Johnston by 12, their largest lead. 5 seconds. Carson down the lane. Shot off the glass is short. And we go to halftime with the Johnston Dragons enjoying their largest lead of the night, 32-20 over Dowling Catholic here at the half, Jimmy Cataldo.
Well, as we mentioned, what was working so well for the Maroons in the first quarter was the moving without the ball.
Right.
All 4 or 5 guys were moving without the ball and really forcing Johnston to play, their full half-court defense. You look as this second quarter went on, the only guy really moving around was Drew Morrow, and with Kramer playing Drew, really, really tough. It makes it really hard on Drew to get open. But I think they just got to get back to moving without the basket, which opens up so many more shots, as they found Jalen Pettis several times underneath the basket for conversions. And they get back to that and, fight back into this game.
Yeah, so many weapons for Johnston, so many adjustments for Dowling, and the Maroons have handled some of them, but they trail by 12 here at halftime. We'll take a break from the Johnston Gym. We'll total up the first half statistics. If you joined us late, the girls' game was won by Johnston. Number 1 Johnston defeating Dowling Catholic 60-28. Maroons are ranked 5th in 5A. Their record falls to 16-5. The Johnston Dragon girls now 21-0. And halftime of the boys contest, Johnston 32, Dowling 20. Alongside Jimmy Cataldo, I'm Mark Amadale. And our thanks to Jeff Piggott, who is our studio producer. And we'll be back with halftime from the Johnston Gym after this timeout on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Did you know you have a choice in your child's education? Smaller class sizes, dedicated teachers, a sense of community, and a caring learning environment. Whether it's in the classroom or at home, Diocese of Des Moines Catholic Schools deliver the best value in education, and we offer tuition assistance to help you afford it. Learn more about how the Catholic schools in the Des Moines Diocese might be the right choice for your child. Visit dmdiocese.org/schools.
The one who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. Hi, this is Matt Wilkham, Executive Director for Iowa Catholic Radio. St. Paul's words in 2 Corinthians resonate in a special way for us Iowans, who do our part to sow the seed, knowing in the end exactly who provides the growth. Will you help Iowa Catholic Radio continue to plant the seed of God's Word? Please consider a $30 a month sustaining gift, and tune in to the Spring Carathon starting Monday, February 21st, or donate anytime at iowacatholicradio.com. Thank you.
Listener-supported Iowa Catholic Radio, 1150 AM KWKY Des Moines, 94.5 FM K233BT Des Moines, 88.5 FM KIHS Adel, 90.9 FM KLOX Creston.
Hey, welcome back to halftime here at the Johnston Gym alongside Jimmy Cataldo, Mark Amadale. Our halftime score is Johnston 32, Dowling Catholic 20, as Johnston jumped out to a 13-12 first quarter lead and outscored Dowling 19-8 in that second quarter to lead it here at halftime. Jimmy, you got to look at some of the numbers?
Maroons a little bit ice cold in the second quarter, but finished the half 3 of 8 from the field for 37%, just 2 of 11 from the three-point arc, which was one of our keys that they got to be able to hit, knock down some shots. 18% in the three-point arc, 6 total rebounds and 5 turnovers for Johnston. Just the opposite. They got red hot in the second quarter. Went 8 of 14 for the half, 57% from the field, and then shot 4 of 7 in the first half, or 57% from 3. That including 3 for 3 in the second quarter. 9 total rebounds for the Dragons, and then 6 turnovers on the first half.
All right, let's take a look at the scoring in the first half for Dowling Catholic. The Maroons were led by Drew Marr with 8 points. He hit a pair of three-pointers and 2 for 2 at the line for his 8 points. 6 points for Jalen Pettis. 3 points for Davis Sheck. 2 points for Joey Coppola. And 1 point for Mata Brua. Carson Brown did not score in the first half, one of Dowling's starters, as the Maroons went 5 of 6 at the free throw line. For Johnston, they were led by Tornabane. That was Sam Tornabane, 10 points at halftime, followed by Stephen Kramer with 8 points, 6 points for Trey Lewis, and 3 points for Nathan Ruish, and 2 points for Talon Proctor. And Mason Ryan, to start tonight, had 3 points. The Dragons 2 for 2 at the free throw line. So both teams been at the free throw line. Dowling 5 of 6, Johnston 2 for 2. But one of the keys you talk about, who's going to guard Trey Lewis? We saw Capola on him at the end. Didn't know if they would rotate. Didn't we see Carson Brown earlier?
We saw Joey Capola early in the game, and what the Maroons did well there was when Joey was getting picked, somebody stepped up to stop Trey Lewis's dribble drive and allowed Joey to reset and get back on defense. We lost that in a couple times in that last couple possessions, but they had Davis Sheck on him a couple possessions. They had Carson Brown on a couple possessions, and then Joey Coppola, which all 3 different type of athletes, which has been really good for the Maroons, just holding him to 6 points. But matchup problem with Tornabane. Being able to shoot the three-point shot as he did, and then being able to handle the ball at the block, he was certainly a matchup problem for the Maroons.
And Tornabane picked up 3 first-half fouls coming off the bench, so that might be something in the Maroons' favor, but we'll see what kind of adjustments are made. A reminder that Dowling wrestling team and swimming team are in the state meet. Be careful who you hand that microphone over. That's very delicate, and there's certain people that should be on the air during football season, and certain ones that should.
If we got the sideline reporter for the football games, we might as well put him on and see if he has any incitement to this game.
He's got too much fan in him, because look who he's sitting with. Look at that. He's got some guy named Scigliano. We're talking about Johnny Chido here. He's sitting with Scigliano, and those fans come up to Media Row. That's the reason why there's a door. Oh, no, wait a second. They took the door out. I guess they let anybody in. But Boys State Swim Meet, Dowling Catholic with 5 individuals. 4 of them are in 2 events, and then, of course, the 2 relays. They got underway tonight at 5:30 at in Iowa City at the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center. And the Maroons are qualifying for a couple relays I mentioned tomorrow. And then district wrestling, Coach Ryan Finch and the Dowling wrestling team traveling to Council Bluffs Lewis Central High School tomorrow for their 8-team district. It's underway at 11 o'clock. Best of luck to them. Jim, you know a few of those wrestlers, and we'll be calling their names and numbers next year on the football side also.
Well, you see the wrestling program has really shifted, and you see a lot of excitement. We went and saw one of their recent dual meets at Dowling, and the crowds were outstanding. Mm-hmm. The atmosphere was fun, and they got some really good wrestlers. And you think about the Maroon wrestling program back in the 80s and 90s with Coach Dara, Coach Gray, something I grew up around, and
absolutely
that was just incredible. The program that they had, but certainly Coach Finch and their the
Coach
staff that
Coach Noller and all
that's
them.
come over.
Yeah.
They've done a fantastic job, and I haven't seen the excitement of the Dowling wrestling program in quite some time.
Well, the Maroons losing Wednesday to Urbandale in the play-in match before the winner of that match, which was Urbandale, played Ankeny to go to the state duels, and Ankeny ended up winning that as they defeated Urbandale, who beat Dowling. So the Maroons now on the traditional side, see how many they can get qualified tomorrow out at Lewis Central High School. And I want to remind you, I want to thank Skeffington's Formal Wear, Catholic Tuition, and Mercy One for supporting our broadcast all season long. And don't forget to like Iowa Catholic Radio on Facebook and follow Iowa Catholic Radio on Twitter. You can do that. And reminder, the Catholic Morning Show with John Leonetti, weekdays at 7 o'clock. I'm on with John right around 7:05 and 7:35, twice an hour with news, weather, and sports updates. So tune in to the Catholic Morning Show weekdays at 7. And reminder, Dowling girls and boys basketball teams on the road tomorrow. The Dowling girls will be traveling to Cedar Falls as the 5th-ranked Maroons taking on Cedar Falls Tigers. They're a number 3 seed in their regional. This will be a non-conference game, non-division game. 3:30 tomorrow afternoon, JV1, JV2, and the Dowling varsity. The varsity will play at 3:30 at Cedar Falls High School. And that'll conclude the Dowling girls' regular season. And in the Dowling boys, will travel to Linn-Mar High School, and they will take on 3rd-ranked Cedar Rapids Kennedy tomorrow at 1 o'clock at Linn-Mar High School, part of the Linn-Mar tournament. Valley plays right after them, as the Valley will take on Linn-Mar. They'll be the 2:30 game. Valley Tigers ranked, I believe, 5th in Class 4A. So that's a look at some of the stuff that's going on. Jimmy Cataldo, I know the weight training, the guy you had next to you, he had the microphone and had to leave, but he's involved with Fred Tiernan, Kurt Brown, Badge Stas, a few others helping out with the weight training of the middle schoolers.
Yeah, and our middle school program has been has really grown over the years. They lift twice a week. They get the 7th and 8th grade, both girls and boys, which is a great thing. You get both athletes, and you get some of the girls, coaches that were out of season come in and help. But Johnny Chido, Fred Tiernan, his impact on the football program, the athletic program is hard to explain because it's just so much, and he just does so much for us. And what he does in the junior high weightlifting to organize that, it's a thankless job, but he really puts a lot of time and effort in that.
And hats off to Fred Tiernan and the rest of the gang to do it. Fred gave a nice speech last night. My daughter's part of the 8th grade girls, and she was there, and he gave a speech about, who started down here back in your age or actually younger? Caitlin Clark, and look what she's doing. So it all starts in middle school.
And it's so important that they have to understand that everybody that they've grown up and seen, maybe shown up at the basketball arena or the football field, that every one of those athletes started somewhere. And that these young men and women who are in the junior high are taking the same path that all these other athletes have done. And so understanding the process of strength and speed is so important, becoming the well-rounded athlete.
It certainly is. All right, we're halftime here at the Johnston Gym. We're going to keep it here, 32-20, as we're underway here in the second half. Dowling will have the ball first, trailing by 12. Johnston with the lead. Now the Maroons work a corner 3, in and out, no good from Coppola on the left baseline. Rebound Johnston. And we'll see if the lineups stay the same for the second half. Yep, they're going to start Ryan, Lewis, Kramer does Johnston, along with Ruish, and they're going to start the sophomore in the middle. Yes, they are, Jacob Simpson. That's the 5 for Johnston. Lewis in the lane. His shot no good. Good defense by Coppola, and the rebound out to Dowling. Now the Maroons will go with Davis Sheck, who brings the ball up. Carson Brown. Joey Coppola. A head fake and a three-pointer up and no good. Drew the foul. He'll get 3 free throws as Jalen Pettis and Drew Morrow are the 5 on the floor for Dowling. Jimmy?
It's a great job by Joey Coppola. He comes off the pick, has a wide-open 3, decides not to take it, but his defender jumps, and when he's in the air, he's vulnerable, and Joey goes ahead and shoots the ball and draws the 3-point free throw foul.
First free throw good. Coppola, 61% free throw shooter. That's his 3rd point of the night. I mentioned Dowling at halftime, led by Drew Morrow's 8 points. Jalen Pettis, 6 points. 3 points for Davis Sheck. Coppola's 2nd free throw is good. 2 points by Coppola at halftime. Now he's doubled that. He now has 4. And Matabru off the bench with 1 point. And the 3rd free throw is short, and a rebound Kramer and Johnston, as Dowling went 5 of 6 in the first half at the free throw line. Corner 3 by Ruish is no good. Rebound Dowling and Davis Sheck on the weak side. Dragons had 6 players score in the first half. Coppola with it, 32-22. Dragons' largest lead was at halftime of 12 points over Dowling. Here's Marr coming off a ball screen. Takes it to the lane. It's shot up and short. Defended nicely by Simpson. Now outlet pass to Kramer, and he goes down court. Layup good. Kramer got in the open court and scored his 10th point.
They force you to hustle back, and if you don't get back, they're scoring because their transition offense is really, really quick.
Now Coppola with the basketball. Backdoor cut to Pettis. Layup good. Coppola found Pettis, who just broke to the basket from the free throw line.
The Maroons found him several times in the lane, and that time Joey finds Jalen, but who does a great cut to the basket off the free throw line for the easy two.
Johnson with the basketball. Dowling man-to-man. We haven't seen zone by either team tonight. Ryan now for three left corner. It's no good. Fight for the rebound. Tipped out of bounds as Simpson was battling Pettis. They say it went off of Jalen. It'll be Johnston basketball. Marr will check out, and checking in as the Maroons make a lineup change. Charlie Stewart checks in for Marr. They lob it into Kramer, and it's stolen away by Stewart. Charlie with it. Underneath is shot up off the glass, no good, and a rebound. Trey Lewis and Johnston. Outlet pass to Kramer in the lane, and they're going to wipe off the basket. Foul before on Scheck. And again, Johnston out running after a missed basket.
And that was off a fast break for the Maroons, who had three guys already back in the backcourt. But Trey Lewis gets the rebound, and off he goes.
Ryan will throw it in for Johnston. Gets to Kramer. Now he'll launch the three, right corner, off the back, off the glass, no good. Tried to bank shot it. Rebound Dowling and Carson Brown. Brown now to Coppola for three. It's no good, and out of bounds to Johnston. And
Tough shot by Joey. You know, his feet were set, had good rhythm in it, and just off the mark to the left on the shot. But you know, you look at this, and you look at Dowling scoring right now, and Carson Brown, of course, has some ill effect from his illness, but he's held scoreless in this game, and he was held scoreless the last time they played Johnston. So certainly Carson Brown's offense is certainly missed in this game against this opponent.
Yeah, Kramer has it deflected by Brown. In the lane is Lewis. Pull-up jumper good. And that was just a height advantage there with Mason Ryan, the 6-foot senior, in the lane for his 5th point. And it's 36-24, Johnston by 12. 5:20 left, third quarter here at the Johnston Gym. Mark Amadil and Jimmy Cataldo tonight. I want to thank Scott Babinat for sitting in for Steve Devaney during the girls' game. Dowling boys now, they work underneath to Charlie Stewart, and a foul on Kramer. Charlie had his man pinned. That was Kramer, and that's a nice matchup right there as Charlie drew the foul.
Charlie had Kramer bodied in and had great position. Good entrance pass by Jalen Pettis, and Charlie draws the foul on Kramer, which becomes his second on the game.
Coppola will throw it in, gets to Carson Brown. He'll launch the three, right wing, off the mark, no good. And the rebound, Johnston and Jacob Simpson, the 6'5 sophomore. Boxed out Pettis, and we got a timeout Johnston. We'll take a full timeout with him. 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. It's Johnston 36, Dowling Catholic 24, along with Jimmy Cataldo, Mark Amadale here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
60 Seconds with Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen.
The natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him, and neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. That is why those who share that Spirit understand one another so readily. To try to teach people about Christ and the mysteries of our holy faith is almost like trying to teach a blind man color, unless those people are ready to receive the Spirit of Christ himself. Now, converts who take instruction come to know that Jesus is our Lord. Where do they learn it? From the Spirit. The Holy Spirit woos the soul, draws it to a closer fellowship, to more intimate union, becomes our sanctifier, just as the Father is our Creator and the Son is our Redeemer.
The people you know and trust are on EWTN.
And we're back here at the Johnston Gym alongside Jimmy Cataldo, Mark Amadale. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Johnston 36, Dowling 24. Timeouts. Johnston with 4. Dowling has 3. And underneath, shooting and scoring is Trey Lewis with his 8th point.
He has such a hard cut to the back door, and Trey is so quick. Sometimes it's really, really tough to guard him.
Dowling with the ball. It's Coppola, Scheck, Charlie Stewart. Now over to Coppola for 3. Left wing, no good. Rebound, Simpson, and Johnston. So Maroon's got another good look. Couldn't hit the shot.
They're getting wide open. 3 looks. It's just not getting them in there, and they're struggling from the three-point arc, causing a big part of this.
Now Lewis inside. His shot is no good, and Jalen Pettis boxed out the big guy, Jacob Simpson, and Simpson commits the foul. That's his first.
There's not too many people that are going to out-muscle Jalen in the box. Jalen uses everything he has in strength and size and does a great job boxing out, which we haven't seen a ton of it with the Maroons tonight because Johnston's been so hot in shooting the ball.
Yes, they have. And a 14-point lead for Johnston, 38-24, 4 minutes remaining. Drew Morrow back in the lineup for the Maroons. It'll be Morrow, Carson Brown, Charlie Stewart fakes the three. Now to Scheck for three, top of the key. It's off the mark, no good. Rebound Simpson. Or Nathan Roosh and Johnston as the other way we go. Now a long three by Ryan is no good. Rebound Simpson, gets it back to Kramer. Kramer behind the back in the lane. Underneath the Simpson, backs his way in. His shot up too strong, no good. Rebounds Drew Morrow. Nice defense that time by Jalen Pettis.
Really good. He had to guard both Stephen Kramer in the drive and then Jacob Simpson twice.
Pull up three by Morrow, top of the key, no good. Tip by Pettis, no good. And a rebound Johnson. Here's Kramer, and he drew the foul. He went right around Morrow. It'll be Drew's second foul.
Maroons was just having a really tough time getting those three-point shots to go down tonight. Was just 2 of 11 coming into the second half, but 0 for 5 in this third quarter from the three-point. And that becomes a big mark for struggling as you're down 14 with 3 minutes to go in the third.
3 minutes, 20 seconds remaining here in the third. Johnson out of bounds underneath their own basket. Here's Ryan with it, gets it to Lewis. Trey with it, dribbles left side. And nobody picked him up. He went right around the corner and scored with the left hand. Lewis now with 10 points.
Certainly needed help defense. Scheck did everything he could, but as Trey Lewis came off the pick, found a clear alley to the basket and converts.
And the help defense wasn't there. I don't know who would have been closer, but nonetheless, Dowling down 16. This is Johnston's largest lead. The Maroons working inside, and Morrow's shot no good from the right block. And a rebound, Johnston and Lewis. Here's Ryan with it. Now to rare miss is Tornabene in there. His shot no good. Dowling tried to run the fast break, and they overthrew Pettis. And that's a defensive lineman running a receiver's route.
Well, this on missed shots, it's up and down for both teams. Johnston's maybe a little bit quicker getting down on their offensive side, but you're starting to see the Maroons stand around and watch one-on-one play where, they got to continue to move on their offensive sets, which opens different alleys and even opens the guy with the ball to better shots to the lane. But if they stop and start watching people dribble, that becomes trouble.
Here's Proctor with it, who's in there for Johnston. Talon Proctor to Lewis. Lewis in the lane, guarded by Scheck. Now he kicks the ball out. It's stolen away by Carson Brown. Carson Brown and Kramer down court, and the ball is blocked as Kramer blocks the shot. Keeping it in bounds is Tornabene, and Johnston the other way as Brown had his shot blocked, and now Kramer the other way has his shot blocked. Down court to Carson Brown, and he'll slam it through.
There it is.
So there you go, Jimmy.
What an incredible play by Stephen Kramer as Brown goes up with the one-handed dunk, and Kramer, gets up as high as Carson does and blocks it. But on the transition, Carson gets it back and slams it home.
Now the other way we go, and Johnston with the ball, and a foul on Scheck. And on Davis's second foul, and team foul number 3 on Dowling.
On those last 2 possessions, I'm not sure if I got the stats right. Because
See, we had turnover, block shot, rebound, and then a dunk. 3-pointer by Tornabene, no good. Rebound Dowling and Charlie Stewart. 40-26. Johnston by 14. Dowling with the ball in the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. The Maroons attack the glass and draw the foul. This will be on Talon Proctor, his second. 14th foul on Johnston. And Davis Scheck will inbound the ball. Stewart, Pettis, Brown, and Morrow. Underneath the Pettis, his layup is good. He got right around Tornabene for the basket.
Good setup play out of the inbounds, and Scheck finds Jalen, who's doing a great job cutting to the basket. He's done it all night, and he's been converting as he gets the ball at the block.
Maroons making a little run. It's down to 12, 40-28. Corner 3 by Proctor by Lewis is no good. Rebound Dowling, one and done. Here come the Maroons. Morrow with it in the front court. Drew comes off a ball screen by Pettis, dribbles baseline, and they're going to call blocking foul on Kramer. And all of a sudden, Johnston's kind of in a A little flux here.
I think that one went on
Tornabane,
his fourth.
It was Kramer and Tornabane trying to take away the baseline, and Tornabane with his fourth foul, and he'll come out, and they'll put the sophomore back in, the starter, Jacob Simpson, and now we've got a whistle on the foul.
What a play on the inbounds as Scheck finds Carson Brown right at the rim. He inbounds the ball, puts the ball right at the rim, and Carson slams it home and draws the foul for an and one to cut this lead possibly to single digits.
Fouls on Lewis. That's his second for Johnston. The and one, good. What were you saying about Carson Brown being held scoreless the last time they played Johnston and tonight in the first half? 5 points now for Carson. Keep talking there.
It just becomes so critical in this offense that the Maroons run that they get multiple people shooting the basketball and converting.
A little helter-skelter there, and Johnson throws the ball away as they try to get it inside. They actually had the ball. Dowling had the ball stolen. Johnson stole it back, and they threw it away, tried to lob it into Simpson. It's a 9-point lead for Johnston. Dowling with the ball. Minute to play here in the third. Hang on. Dragons have won 7 of the last 10 games in the two meetings. Johnston winning at Dowling back on January 31st, 59-41, which was 12 days ago. Charlie Stewart with it to Scheck, top of the key, guarded by Lewis. Now to Carson Brown, who's guarded by Proctor. 40 seconds remaining. Carson Brown in the lane, reverse layup, no good. Rebound, Lewis and Johnston. And they're going to hold for one as the possession arrow favors Johnston here, Jimmy. So this could be a 2-possession swing for the Dragons, leading by 9.
I can certainly see something where Trey Lewis is going to take it one-on-one, and as the Maroons collapse, maybe kicking it out to their wings. And right now they're sitting out there with Proctor in the wing and Roosh on the wing.
All right, here is Lewis with it. Gets it over to Simpson. He gets rid of it to Proctor. Now in the corner, stolen away by Davis Scheck as the pass intended for Lewis. He was going to drill the three, or attempt the three, with 1.5 seconds. Watch for the catch and shoot. Kramer and Simpson underneath. Let's see if Coach Frick runs his out-of-bounds play here. They lob it into Simpson. And now here is a shot. It won't count if it goes by Lewis from just inside the three-point line. No good. And it's 40-31 our score. Johnston with the lead over Dowling. We'll take a break and come back with the fourth quarter in 1 minute. Johnston leading Dowling 40-31 at the end of three quarters here in the Johnston Gym on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Thought of the day with Monsignor Frank Bagnano.
How do we get over those rough spots in life which we all experience? Are they really part of God's goodness and God's plan? The answer is simple in Proverbs 34. Taste and see the goodness of the Lord. By seeing His providential love working in every small detail or occurrence of life, suddenly I find something I've lost, a kind word from someone else, an unexpected blessing. These small tastes help us in those moments when adversity strikes, and my instinct is to doubt. By seeing God's hand in small things, I can trust Him in those events I don't understand. I believe His words to Isaiah. My thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are my ways your ways, says the Lord. For as the heavens are high above the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts above your thoughts. And that is today's Thought of the Day.
And we're back here at the Johnston Gym as Johnston has the basketball first to start the fourth quarter. Kramer gets inside. His shot is no good. Rebound comes down to Johnston. It's stolen away by Dowling as Charlie Stewart comes away with it. It's Stewart, Marr, Carson Brown, Jalen Pettis, and Davis Scheck, the 5 on the floor for Dowling Catholic, as the Maroons outscored Johnston 11-8 in that third quarter. Jimmy, both teams hit 4 field goals, 4 2-point field goals, but Dowling 3 out of 4 at the free throw line. Scheck for 3 in the corner, leaves it short, and a rebound Johnston and Trey Lewis. Now Lewis underneath, cut off, leaves it for Kramer. His shot up, no good, hits the deck. Rebound Simpson, and it's put back up and no good. Rebound Dowling and Marr. 2 shots at it there, and the Dragons couldn't convert. Drew in the lane and draws the foul. The basket is no good as he shot the ball as he got hit. And a foul called, and free throws coming for Johnston. And Stephen Kramer with his third foul, and Drew Marr to the free throw line for 2. And you got to look at some numbers real quick, Jimmy.
Tail 2 tapes, Dowling started heating up in their shooting. They are 7 of 16 on the game, now 43% from the field. Their three-point shooting has really been the Achilles heel to them. 2 of 16 from the three-point arc for 12%. 15 total rebounds and 6 total turnovers on the game. Johnston, 52% from the field. 28% from the three-point arc, which they cooled off a little bit. 19 total rebounds and 8 turnovers.
All right, Marr hits both free throws. He's got 10 points tonight. Johnston the other way. Kramer dishes it off to Ruish. His three-pointer no good. Ball slapped out of bounds. They say went off Johnston. The Johnston student body underneath the Johnston basket didn't agree. You hear a few noises out there, cat calls, kind of like what we do when we hear Coach Cataldo make a wrong call in football.
Well,
get that from the media.
I tuned that out.
I know you did.
The Maroons got this down to 7, and they had a chance to really cut into this and then turn the ball over.
Carson Brown, a bad pass, thrown away by Johnston. Lewis underneath, his shot up, no good, drew the foul. And free throws coming for Lewis. Fouls on Davis Scheck, and that's his third. So Scheck is the first Dowling player with 3 fouls. Stephen Kramer with 3 fouls, along with Sam Tornabane with 4 fouls for Johnston, Jimmy.
It's just Johnston really makes you pay when you turn the ball over. It becomes a double negative because the turnover hurts, but the way Johnston gets out and runs on transition really forces their opponents, in this case the Maroons, to get back, and oftentimes they convert.
Lewis hits 1 of 2 free throws. He has 11 points to lead the Dragons. 41-33, and now violation against Dowling. They get him for the double dribble.
They caught Joey, trying to pass the ball, and the ball slips out of his hand, hits the ground, as he clutches it, which is a double dribble violation.
Tonight's game sponsored in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic, along with construction professionals and dental associates. 41-33 is our score. 6 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Johnston with the lead over Dowling. The Dragons have led by as many as 16. Dowling's got it down to 8 right now. Underneath, Lewis has a shot blocked by Pettis. Safe from going out of bounds by Coppola. Carson Brown had a hand on that. And here's Coppola in the front court. Coppola dribbling through traffic, kicks it back out to Marr. The Maroons will set their offense. And now Marr launched a 3 right wing.
Oh,
good!
Big.
Drew Marr from the right wing 3. And it cuts the Dragon lead to 5 with 5.5 left, Jimmy.
Drew has all 3 of the Maroons' 3-point makes, which isn't many based on the number of shots. But what a big shot in the middle of the fourth quarter to cut the lead to 4. The Maroons are in a position where they haven't been with Johnston in the 2 games, is being in the game in the fourth quarter. Let's see if they can really put this thing away or get it down to the last minute and have a shot to win this game.
41-36 is our score. Johnston by 5. As I mentioned earlier, Dragons had a 16-point lead at one time here in the second half, and Dowling's whittled it down to 5. Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio brought to you in part by Mercy One, the Catholic Tuition Organization, and Skeffington's Formal Wear. And this may wake him up, but Michael Morrow, who's sitting next to me, he's down in Indianola watching his other grandson play, Norwalk at Indianola, the Battle of Warren County. So, Michael, best of luck to Vinny Morrow, who plays for Norwalk. And, of course, Drew just hit that 3 to cut the Dowling lead, the Johnston lead to 5 and bring Dowling within 5 of Johnston. How about that?
It just makes it so hard on parents and grandparents when you got, players at 2 different schools, and you want to, see both. But, it's nice that we are able to telecast this on the radio so multiple people can hear as they're off watching, other games. But again, Maroons cut this down to 5, doing a great job on their defensive side. As long as it's not a transition play, the Maroons' defense has been pretty tough.
Johnston coming out with a double high post pick. Coach Brian Frick, I knew he'd draw up a play. And he is. Now here's Kramer working one-on-one against Brown. Now a backdoor cut by Ryan. Layup good. Kramer with the pass. And Mason Ryan finishes it. And that stems the Dowling Tide for now.
The Maroons got caught kind of watching the dribble drive and didn't see their guy cutting on the wing or baseline for the backdoor 2-point shot.
And they thought Kramer would take the shot, and he was the assist man on that as Ryan snuck down the baseline. Dowling with the ball. Here's Coppola with it over to Scheck. Lob pass inside to Pettis. Layup good! Right over the big guy, Jacob Simpson. Pettis, and what a pass.
Great conversion by Pettis right at the rim. Caught it at the rim, put it up. But great pass by Davis Scheck to put the ball right at the rim where only Jalen could catch it.
And he did. He out-leaped the big guy Simpson at 6'5", and now Here is Kramer. He'll isolate him. Carson Brown underneath. Kramer shot, false bounce. Oh, good rebound, Carson Brown. Kramer getting frustrated. Dowling's stepped up their defense in transition. Here's Coppola for three off the mark, no good. And the rebound, Johnston. Kramer with it, down court. Cut off by Carson Brown. For the big guy, Simpson trailing for three, good. And that is Jacob Simpson's first 3 points of the night for the starting center.
Dowling got caught not finding their man, left Simpson wide open on the wing to hit his three.
We'll take a 1 minute break. 4:03 left, fourth quarter. Johnston 46, Dowling 38, here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Dental Associates, addressing your smile needs and dreams. 515-225-6742. Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com. Thank you, Dental Associates, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One, your expert circle of personalized care for all your health needs. With more care locations than anyone, your best life is their one purpose. Find your doctor at mercyone.org.
And we're back here at the Johnston Gym. Mark Amadale, Jimmy Cataldo. Just under 4 minutes left, fourth quarter, 46-38. Johnston with the lead. Marr now, as they run, Dowling comes out with out of the timeout. They'll run a three by Coppola, no good. Rebound slapped around into the hands of Lewis. Maroons had a look, and now here's Lewis all the way down court and layup with the right hand, good from the right side.
You got to get back on transition. They make you pay when you miss. So one of two things: don't miss or get back on defense.
And now a steal, bad pass by Dowling, stepped right in front of Carson Brown. And a timeout called by Johnston. We'll keep it here with 3:27 remaining here in the fourth quarter. The Johnston lead back up to 10 after the Maroons had it whittled down to 5, Jimmy.
Well, you look at shot selection. The Maroons certainly just not converting on their three-point shot. Have 4 3-point shots in the fourth quarter. Have made one, but just one field goal attempt by the Maroons in the fourth quarter. You know, one of two things: you got to make your threes, or you got to start taking the ball to the basket. Because if you miss and you put Johnston out in transition, the lead's going to explode.
Want to remind Dowling fans you can sign up for the Bash on Buffalo Road that begins on Saturday, April 9th for a night of fellowship, celebration, and bidding. The Bash features silent and live auctions with over 100 items, mystery wine, pole, and a restaurant row, and a $5,000 cash raffle drawing. Dinner and drinks are included. Your $60 admission ticket, and again, that'll be on Saturday, April 9th at Dowling. All right, out of the timeout, Johnston with the basketball. They have 2 timeouts remaining, so does Dowling. Kramer now, a pass over in the corner to Ruish for 3. It's no good. Weak side rebound, Proctor, and the Dragons retain possession with as we approach the 3-minute mark here, Jimmy.
Well, Maroons came out and did a full-court trap press. Johnston breaks it. They get the open 3, and then the offensive rebound.
Now, Coppola with the steal and basket, and Lewis let him score. They didn't want to pick up a foul, and Maroons pick up a turnover and basket by Coppola, and that is his 6th point.
You know, typically the Maroons in their full-court press, force a few turnovers. You got to hope Johnston misses some shots here to get yourself back into this game.
48-40. Johnston by 8. A couple guys next to you with coats on. I don't know what that's about, Jimmy. Johnston with the basketball. Ruish guarded by by Drew Marr, to Kramer. Down the corner it goes to Lewis. Lewis goes baseline against Coppola. Nearly lost the ball and a reach-in foul on Coppola. That'll be the 15th foul on Dowling. The Maroons have one more to give.
You know, not a bad foul by Joey. He's trying to create some type of a turnover to get Dowling the ball back in Dowling's hands with being down 8, 2.5 minutes.
2:20 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Johnston will inbound the ball underneath their own basket. 17 fouls on Johnston, 5 on Dowling. Coppola picking up the foul, and that is his 3rd foul. As Johnston with it. Backing in is Ryan. His shot up and good. He posts up his man, and I believe it was Davis Scheck.
Just muscled Scheck down into the block, and Scheck just giving ground, and Davis found himself right at the block. Easy shot.
Ryan has 9 points. Got the start tonight on senior night. Now the ball loose and picked up by Coppola. Dowling on the offensive end. Here's Morrow with it. Drew dribbles off his foot, leaves it for Scheck. They lob it inside to Pettis. Jalen, a head fake, a shot up, and no good. He drew the foul as the ball rolled around the rim. It would have counted. And Simpson picks up the foul, his second. And free throws coming for Pettis. Had an opportunity for an and one.
Needed that one to go in, of course, to keep chipping away at this. But Jalen getting great position on the block for the entry pass. It's right there for him.
13 points now for Pettis as he makes the first free throw. Second free throw coming for Pettis tonight. Minute 46 remaining here in the fourth quarter. 50-41. Johnston by 9. Second free throw is short. Pettis with 13 points. Rebound Johnston. Dragons in the front court. Here's Kramer with it, guarded by Carson Brown. Dowling stays man-to-man, but they've been helping. Maroons have one more foul to give. Here's Ruish with it. And it's poked away by Drew Morrow, but he drew the foul. Got a little bit more body than ball. And Drew picks up his third foul. So Morrow, Scheck, and Coppola with 3 fouls each for Dowling. For Johnston, Kramer with 3 fouls. And Tornabane on the bench with 4 for the Dragons as they inbound it. Ryan will throw it in. Mason Ryan gets it to Lewis, who's guarded by Coppola. He's done a nice job on him tonight. Really haven't heard much from him here in the second half. And now, he finds a beautiful cut by Simpson to lay up good. That's how valuable Lewis is. That's why he's one of the top assist mans in the state. Now a corner three, good by Carson Brown, a timeout Dowling. Carson with his first 3 of the night, and he has 8 points. Lewis with Simpson with his 5th point for Johnston.
It's so hard to contain Trey Lewis on the dribble drive, and you work so hard on him throughout the night that he's bound to get free, and he got free that time. Dowling with the help defense, what's allowed Jacob Simpson to cut back door for the 2-point, but big 3-point shot by Carson Brown with 8 points tonight. If the Maroons can hit some shots and get some turnovers, anything can happen.
Minute 15 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Johnston 52, Dowling 44. Earlier tonight, the girls' contest, it was number 1 Johnston defeating number 5 Dowling 60-28. Johnston girls conclude their regular season with a record of 21-0, and they will go into the postseason to the semifinals a week from tomorrow, and they will host Council Bluffs Lincoln here at the Johnston Gym in the first round of the Class 5A girls regional. Dowling girls are on the road tomorrow at Cedar Falls, and they will host Ames a week from tomorrow. That'll be our next broadcast. Dowling hosting Ames on 1 week from tomorrow on Saturday. We will be on the air at 6:45, 7 o'clock tip-off, and a whistle and a foul in the backcourt on the Maroons. That'll be on Davis Scheck, his 4th. And Trey Lewis, the free throw line for the Johnston Dragons. He has 13 points tonight. First free throw is good.
Trey Lewis is 87% free throw shooter on the year. Obviously, not somebody you want to foul, but you're forced to foul on that one.
Both free throws are good. Lewis with 15 points. 54-44. Johnston by 10. Scheck for 3 in the corner. It's no good in the right wing. And a whistle and a foul in the backcourt on Carson Brown with the reach in.
Just can't buy one on those threes, and just the Maroons have put up
you got the notes,
a lot of threes tonight. That was their 22nd 3-point shot.
Carson just made one,
and they've made 3 on the year or on the night. Three for 22.
Lewis the free throw line, and his first one is good. He now has 16 points. And the second free throw good. 17 points now for Lewis. Trey came in averaging 22.2. And it's 56-44, Johnston by 12. Long 3 by Morrow, no good. Well defended by Kramer, and the rebound and a loose ball foul on Dowling, they're saying. And that'll be on Pettis, his 3rd. 51 seconds remaining.
Just tough. Right now, confidence comes into play. Joey Capola's looking for Drew Morrow, thinking that maybe he has the hot hand. Drew has hit three threes tonight. But you got to have some confidence in what you're doing. And
yeah, you do. As Ryan misses the free throw, Dowling the other way. A three-pointer good by Davis Scheck. Corner three. That's his second three of the night. 56-47 Johnston. 40 seconds remaining. It's Maroon team. They're going to fall to 6-13. Play with a lot of effort. They play hard. They've been in it. They were, as you mentioned, Jimmy, they were down 16. And they came back. They could have quit. They came back and cut it to 5. And now the Dragons with a timeout, as this will be a 30-second timeout.
Johnston makes it tough on you when you're looking to foul somebody, and Trey Lewis and Stephen Kramer are able just to pass the ball and break the press. Trey Lewis, like I said, is an 87% free throw shooter, and then Stephen Kramer shooting 84% on the year. That makes it tough. Like, who do you foul? You hope to goodness you get the ball into somebody else's hands, but they're not able to do it.
Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio brought to you in part by the Catholic Tuition Organization, along with Skeffington's Formal Wear and Mercy One. We mentioned our next broadcast here on Iowa Catholic Radio will be a week from tomorrow night, as the Dowling girls will be in action, taking on Ames in their semifinal, as they called in the girls postseason regionals. That'll be on Saturday, February 19th, And if the Dowling girls successful against Ames, they'll play on February 22nd, that Tuesday night, 5A regional final, the right to go to state. And out of the lower bracket might be Waukee Northwest. They'll play the Fort Dodge Sioux City winner. And a foul now on Dowling as Capola picks up his fourth foul here, Jimmy.
Yeah, put Mason Ryan on the line. But you go back to the girls and their path to Wells Fargo. They first time playing Ames this year, and you got to think you're in a pretty good position to that. Maybe setting up a route against Waukee Northwest, who they've seen already this year.
Correct.
They have a gal, Reagan Bartholomew, who's a heck of a player, and could be a tough entry game for the Maroons.
Both free throws good by Mason Ryan. He has 11 points, and a timeout on the floor will keep it here. Final minute of the first half, and Coach Brian Frick's going to empty the bench on senior night.
Frick's going to bring in his seniors.
The student body recognized them. You can to our right.
Maroons are going to stay, I think, with their lineup. No, they're going to make the substitution as well. The Maroons are. Looks like Jake Anderson, Harrison. Let's see here. Harrison Grant, Danny Nielsen, Jalen Thompson.
And we'll pick up the players. That's what we're going to see here in the final minute of this contest. Reminder, other games going on tonight. Lincoln and Hoover right now are playing for the Metro Conference title. That game is at Hoover. Tumbles at Roosevelt, East at North, along with Southeast Polk at Waukee, Urbandale at Valley. These are all girl-boy doubleheaders. The Battle of Ankeny going on. That'll be televised on CISN. I don't know if they invited Pollock to that part of town or not in Ankeny.
Probably not.
Ankeny Centennial at Ankeny tonight, being televised on CISN. Fort Dodge at Mesa City, and Waukee Northwest makes the trek to Marshalltown. All right, to be Dowling basketball, and both teams have emptied the benches. So we'll play catch-up here for Dowling. As you mentioned, Jake Anderson in there. Dribbling the ball up is Harrison Grant. Also in there for Dowling is Jalen Thompson. And now here's a basket by Jake Anderson for the Maroons. How about that? He got loose on the left side and scored. Jake, one of your cornerbacks and free safeties on football. And now a long three at the horn. No good by, that's a great sight down there.
Yeah. Good sportsmanship by the Maroons.
Dartavius Young, 6-foot senior, special kid. And the Maroons let him shoot the three. It's no good. 58-49 is our final. Johnston with the win. And the Dragons now improve their record on the season to 15-3. Dowling falls to 6-13. And the Maroons will travel to Linn-Mar of Marion High School in just outside Cedar Rapids tomorrow. They'll take on number 3 Cedar Rapids Kennedy. Tip off at 1 o'clock. For Johnston, their next game will be Tuesday night. They'll be traveling to Des Moines Hoover. That game will start early. It'll be a 6:15 boys only contest. And then Johnston next week finishes out their regular season as they travel to Ames next Friday night. Number 1 Ames, whose record now is 16-1 going into tonight. Again, for Dowling, their next game will be tomorrow at Cedar Rapids Kennedy, or taking on Cedar Rapids Kennedy. Then next Thursday, they have one game, and that'll be Thursday night. Dowling hosting Des Moines East at 6:15 at the Dowling Gym. Be boys, freshman, sophomore, and varsity game. We will not carry that. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, as we'll stick with the Dowling girls and their first round against Ames. We'll take a break, come back with our post-game show. Jimmy Cataldo and I will total up some of the numbers. And if you can give us a 2-minute break, Jeff Piggott, that'd be great. 2 minutes. We'll total up the numbers, and we'll be back. Final score again from Johnston High School. Johnston 58, Dowling 49 in the boys' game. Girls' game won by Johnston 60-28 as the Dragons sweep the Maroons here at the Johnston Gym. Back in 2 minutes here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
This is a Young Catholic Minute.
Why should I save myself for marriage?
On February 14th, 1992, I held 23 Punch-Out Sesame Street Valentines, and one Valentine starring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I couldn't wait to give it to the one woman, well, girl, in my entire kindergarten class who I thought was special enough to receive it. Believe it or not, the gift of yourself is infinitely more precious than a Ninja Turtles Valentine, and it should be saved for more than just someone special who I love so much. When you give yourself to your husband or wife in marriage, you love like Christ, who gave his body up to sanctify his bride in a new covenant. In the same way, sex is only loving when it is a living out of the covenant of marriage. Otherwise, it's just lust. And so the more time you spend with Jesus, who is love and invented marriage, the more the beauty of sex will appeal to you, and the more the empty glamour of lust won't. For more, go to youtube.com/youngcatholic.
What is the best gift ever? Giving a Catholic education is at the top of my list. Your contribution to CTO helps families send their children to our Catholic schools who otherwise could not afford it. In giving to CTO, you receive the best tax credits ever. Pledge or donate online at ctoiowa.org. The bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Skeffington's Formalware, in business since 1951, with locations in Des Moines, West Des Moines, Coralville, and Ankeny. Skeffington's Formalware, fitting you for life celebrations. Online at skeffingtons.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Golden Rule Heating and Cooling. Since 1999, Golden Rule Heating and Cooling has been supporting customers with their rules to live by: respect, understanding, loyalty, expertise, and service. GoldenRulePHC.com.
And we're back here at the Johnston Gym alongside Jim Cataldo, Mark Amadeo. Final score tonight in the boys contest, 58-49. Johnston with the win over Dowling. They improved their record to 15-3. Dowling falls to 6-13. And Jimmy, I think we got everything totaled up. I got everything but the free throws in the fourth quarter, but I'll catch those when you're giving our listeners the update. Johnston had 4 players tonight in double figures. Dowling had 2 players in double figures, and you go ahead and lead off there.
So Maroons on the night, 10 of 19 from the field, shot 52%. Shot the ball pretty well. They just didn't take, enough chances in below the three-point arc. Where the thing that hurt them tonight was just shooting 5 of 24 from the three-point arc, just 20%. 17 total rebounds and then 9 turnovers for Johnston, who the Maroons did a nice job holding them under their season average to 58 points. Shot the ball, very well. 16 of 31 from the field for 51%, and 5 of 18 from the three-point arc, 27%. 27 total rebounds and then just 10 turnovers. Maroons kept Trey Lewis under his average, kept Stephen Kramer under his average. So defensively, they didn't do a bad job. It's just a poor shooting night again for the Maroons, and that just seems to be their Achilles heel, is not being able to hit three-point shots to keep themselves in these games. If they're going to shoot them, they got to hit them. Otherwise, they're doing a nice job feeding Jalen Pettis tonight and getting the ball around the rim. But you just look at the three-point shot, and you just hope, gosh, if we can just hit just a fraction of those, and we're right in this game, just losing by 9.
Well, and funny you say that. Dowling outscored Johnston in the second half, 29-27. But trouble was the Maroons trailed by 12 at halftime, 32-20, and that was a great effort. And it all started. Johnston was taking the lead, and they were up 16 going into the third quarter, maybe 3-4 minutes, and all of a sudden Dragons hit that wall, or Dowling's defense stepped up, which I think is a little bit of both. And the Maroons started putting baskets together. They still struggled from the three. They didn't need that. When they started attacking the glass and getting some and ones, things changed, and Dowling outscoring Johnston in that second half. And that's why we saw in the fourth quarter the Maroons cut it to 5.
Cut it to 5, and you just couldn't find that hot hand. And you see, breath of energy from Carson Brown in that second half. We talked about him being held scoreless in the first game and then held scoreless in the first half, I believe. But certainly, took a big, boost of energy for him in the second half, scoring 8 points total for the game. And you need that. You're looking for that hot hand. Drew Morrow's working his tail off to get open, moving without the ball, and the Maroons are finding their shots. They're not like they're shooting really contested three-point shots. It's just they just couldn't find the one guy to have a hot hand tonight, and like I said, it was their Achilles heel.
Okay, in the final, it was Dowling trailing throughout most of the game. Maroons had a 3-point lead early in the first quarter, but the Dragons with a 12-point lead, their largest lead the first half, was at halftime, and they built it up to a 16-point lead. Dowling cut it to 5, and the Dragons won it by 9, 58-49. And we'll take a break and come back with final thoughts. Again, this is our last broadcast until the postseason starts for the Dowling girls. A week from tomorrow night, we'll have the Dowling Ames girls first-round matchup. And the Dowling boys will start on President's Day. That Monday night, they have the play-in game. They host Des Moines North. We'll have that game, and followed by hopefully the Dowling girls playing in the regional final the next night. So we can go back-to-back 3 games in about 4 days. But they're single games, as this is the final doubleheader of the year. And, of course, tonight here at Johnston, as we saw, senior night, Jimmy.
You're not going to know what to do with yourself.
One game?
Yeah, with one game.
Save my voice.
You really get yourself into that mantra of just doing 2 games. Now there's just one. So you're going to come home early.
Yeah.
You're going to
7 o'clock
hopefully
starts.
bring home dinner.
7 o'clock starts. Hopefully dinner will be at home already. You ever think of that? By the way, I hope everything's going on with your wife battling some illness. Hopefully everything's well. Obviously, if you're here tonight, I guess it is, because normally she wants you by her side. I don't know why, but she does.
No.
Huh? No?
She's like, don't you have a game tonight? I'm like,
that's it.
I'm like, no, tomorrow. Oh.
That's why we were saying, hey, can I do both? And I said, no, we got a much more professional guy, Scott Babinett, that did the boys game. And I appreciate Scott coming out of retirement.
Coach Babinet's a tremendous guy, and so
I
for
miss
him to
him
be able
on
to
that
give his
bench.
time. And
you look
yes.
down the bench, and it's like, you see Joe and you see Audrey, and it's like, where is Babinett? It's empty, but
that's right.
You got a nice group. All right, we'll take a break. Our final break tonight, folks. And again, if you joined us late in the girls' game, number 1 Johnston defeated 5th-ranked Dowling 60-28 in the girls' contest. And in the boys' game, Johnston holding off Dowling 58-49 for Johnston here at the Johnston Gym on senior night, getting the doubleheader sweep. We'll be back for final thoughts after this timeout here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio comes from Mercy One, your expert circle of personalized care for all your health needs. With more care locations than anyone, your best life is their one purpose. Find your doctor at mercy1.org.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Dental Associates, addressing your smile needs and dreams. 515-225-6742. Des Moines-DentalAssociates.com. Thank you, Dental Associates, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio. Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Construction Professionals. Construction Professionals does remodeling and new construction. Construction Professionals is a Catholic family business built on a strong foundation. CPCustomHomes.com. Thank you, Construction Professionals, for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio.
All right, back here at the Johnston Gym as the place is emptying out. Jimmy, I saw some guys, and I do say guys, or none of the ladies would be involved, put their coats on a little early and were joining us up here. I was asking where they were going. I said, there's 4 minutes left, and it's, almost a 5-point lead, but they exited stage left. So you know anything about that? Are you going to catch up with any of those guys later?
When there's a pizza on the other end of that drive, they're leaving early.
They have phones. They all have pretty good-sized phones. They can call and order ahead and have it ready wherever they're going. But
you don't enjoy dinner. I mean, you got to sit down. You got to enjoy. You don't.
But you can have it ready when you walk into the establishment.
Well, but a lot of it is enjoying the conversation, the talk,
I'm saying all this because you're the one that's going to walk into that tonight. I'm going home and relax, see who won, and
it's Friday night.
It is. Well, yeah, it is, and it's almost 9:30, and we're here at Johnston High School on a Friday night. Final girl-boy doubleheader of the year. Did I say that earlier?
Everything's going to get a lot real, and for the Maroons, you turn around and you have to play Cedar Rapids Kennedy tomorrow at Linn-Mar, and
the boys do, yeah.
The boys do, and then the girls are playing at Cedar Falls. So it isn't like
exactly.
You can get something to work on some of your things you want to work on, your shooting especially, and things like that. But they're going to turn around. They're going to play a really good opponent tomorrow, both teams, and then the postseason is right around the corner for them, and you can see what kind of run they can make.
I just got thinking about this. Coach Wilson, the athletic director, your guy with the football, you help him call plays, whatever, during the season. We help, try to keep you under control in the media box, the press box at Valley Stadium. But you look, boys state swimming, the swim team in Iowa City right now, got to be a bus there. And you got wrestling going on in Council Bluffs tomorrow with the Dowling Wrestlers going there, 8 teams. And then one bus going to Cedar Falls, Dowling Girls, and another one going to Linn-Mar High School, where Dowling will play Cedar Rapids Kennedy in the Linn-Mar tournament. That's 4 different buses maybe going. Is this, I'm thinking you guys might be traveling by car next year with some of your road games in football. Is that possible?
When Coach Wilson is going to have to cut some costs, don't be surprised if he's not driving that bus. And you got O'Connor driving the other bus.
Oh, I want to see this.
But
I'm just pointing that out. I said this could come out of the football budget because there's a lot of buses going different ways tomorrow.
I didn't see Coach O'Connor or Coach Wilson here tonight. They may be up traveling with the swim team.
Could be.
Or at least one of them.
Or as you said, it's Friday night.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Hey, we want to thank everybody here at Johnston High School. Yeah, I got a few pats in the back from some of them. I could have replaced you with Jellick. You could have sat here, but I didn't. I kept, I said, you had your Dowling stuff on. I said, that's all right. But best of luck to the Johnston girls. They got a strong team. They're 21-0. They got a week off, and they get ready for their regional. So that'll be interesting. Des Moines North might be the opponent in the regional final. And Haywood Boston and North girls had an outstanding year. And appreciate everything Haywood does. He's been in the coaching business. He was my roommate down at Simpson back in the day when we were coaching. He was at Hoover and I was at Carlisle with Coach Fontana.
It's one of the better seasons that Des Moines North girls basketball has had.
Absolutely.
In so many years, and so their way of getting congratulated on is playing number 1 Johnston.
Right.
Possibly in the sub-say, or what would you call them, in the regional finals?
Yeah, regional semifinals. But it would be a regional final if North comes from that bottom. But they have not been ranked in the top 15 in 5A basketball, Des Moines North I'm speaking of, and now they get the 16th seed, basically. They're the number 2 seed, the 16th, 16 playing 1, basically. And congratulations to Haywood Boston. But they got a young team. They'll be back next year. I look at their roster. They got a couple seniors, but he's been doing a good job. He's been nurturing all those. So, well, Jimmy, appreciate your help. We'll talk to you a week from tonight. That'll be the Saturday night game, as we'll be at the Dowling Gym for one game, and it'll be Dowling and Ames to open up girls regional play. So
looking forward to it. We've been talking about postseason for feels like a couple weeks now, and it's going to start up. And let's see what this young Maroon girls team is made of, and see if they can bounce back from some of these losses late in the season, and see if they can make a run and get themselves a spot in that Wells Fargo tournament seating.
Yeah, well, it's again, Saturday, February 19th. That's 1 week from tomorrow. It'll be our next broadcast. Dowling and Ames, 7 o'clock from the Dowling Gym. We'll be on there at 6:45. And the winner of that game will play the winner of the bottom bracket, Urbandale at Cedar Rapids Kennedy. And the winner of that game this Wednesday will play at Waukee Northwest. And the winners will play on Tuesday night at the highest remaining seed. That's how the girls' postseason works.
But then you look at the boys and, talk about that. I think they like where they're at. You know, they take on Des Moines North themselves.
That'd be on President's Day
which
night.
they feel, you know, hey, look, we're battle tested. We got the number one strength of schedule, so we know we can play against the top teams. If you win that game, you take on likely a Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln team who has lost Josh Dix on the year, who scored 21 points against the Maroons the last time they played, was a big part of that win early in the year against the Maroons. So who knows? You could see this Johnston team a third time if the Maroons do what they need to do and Johnston does what they need to do, and they're going to meet possibly again right here, correct?
Well, it'd be a neutral site. Boys do neutral site, but Johnston Dowling could meet boys sub-state final to go to state. You are
so
exactly
we love the what ifs. I mean, that's what the media. You'd love to put some hypotheticals together, but certainly it's something that can happen. Both the boys and girls teams for Dowling Catholic is, you know, they just got to take care of business, and certainly if they continue to play hard, you know, there's some good things ahead of them, and see what happens.
Well, this is our final radio broadcast until the postseason. Again, the Dowling boys will play Thursday night at home, 7:30 against Des Moines East, and that'll be this coming Thursday. And, of course, the Dowling girls and boys will be playing tomorrow. Girls at Cedar Falls, boys are at Linn-Mar High School taking on third-ranked Kennedy. So our next broadcast will be, as we mentioned, on Saturday, February 19th. And we'll be on the air at 6:45, you and I, Dowling hosting Ames. Only time those two teams have met during the regular season, so we look forward to that. And Jimmy, thanks for all you do. Thanks for scooting over and doing the boys' game tonight.
I just want you to recognize I got my first pat on the back. I mean, it took a full game.
Was that your mom?
I got no pats on the back.
Was that your mom?
Know, Mr. Popular out here at Johnston. I'm chopped liver, but before we go off the broadcast, I got my first pat on the back. So there.
Glad you got that off your chest. Enjoy your pizza with the guys that left early. I mean, they could have called ahead and would have been there if they would have left, watching the game to the end. But appreciate all you do, Jimmy.
Yes.
Thanks for your perspective, and we'll talk to you next Saturday night.
Yes, thanks, Mark.
That'll wrap things up from the Johnston Gym, and our thanks to everybody here at Johnston, including their athletic director, Josh Tobey, who accepted the athletic director's job at Norwalk High School. So thank Melissa, who is acting AD tonight, Tammy Nelson, Randy Sparks, IT guy. Thanks to all of them. Without them, we wouldn't have been set up, and we appreciate all they did. And, of course, thanks to the Johnston fans. Senior night, recognizing their cheerleaders, basketball teams, and whatnot. So hats off to them. And our thanks to Dowling coaches, Kristen Meyer, and, of course, Clay Thielking for joining us. Our next broadcast will be next Saturday night. February 19th, 1 week from tomorrow, the girls' regional semis, Ames at Dowling from the Dowling Gym. Join us for the broadcast here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Jimmy and I will go on for pregame at 6:45. The girls will tip it off at 7 o'clock from the Dowling Gym. For my broadcast partners, Scott Babinet and Jimmy Cataldo, I'm Mark Amadeo. Our thanks to our sponsors, and Jeff Piggott, our studio producer. From all of us here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, the final scores for the final time tonight. In the girls' contest, Johnston defeated Dowling 60-28. Johnston Dragons conclude their regular season, a record of 21-0. Fifth-ranked Dowling falls to 16-5, and they travel to Cedar Falls tomorrow. And the Dowling-Johnston boys game, Johnston 58, Dowling 49, as the Maroons' record falls to 6-13, and Johnston improves its record to 15-3. From all of us here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, have a safe and blessed, faith-filled evening. So long from the Johnston Gym.
Our coverage of Dowling Catholic sports is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Dental Associates, the Catholic Tuition Organization, Mercy One, and Skeffington's Formalware. Thank you for supporting the businesses that underwrite Iowa Catholic Radio. The proceeding has been a Dowling Catholic sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio.